We are live now. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third episode of the third season of Second Sons. As always, I'm Roy Rogers, previously of the New York City Meta, currently at my apartment Meta that has Canadian institution The Murdoch Mysteries on in the background, which is an immensely charming and terrible historical crime show about Toronto, Canada. And as always, with me is Aaron Glazer, who definitely doesn't get to introduce himself today because he is on my shit list. And following is the man I threw under a speeding SEPTA bus, and it broke my heart, Chris Schoenthal. How you doing today, Chris?
My back's a little messed up from the bus getting me, but other than that, I'm doing well.
Hey, guys.
Okay.
Where's the deck we're supposedly talking about?
It's in the Facebook chat, Aaron. They're both in the Facebook chat.
Wait, we're doing two?
This is so difficult.
All right. You were supposed to choose between the two. Oh, well, jeez. All right. So, also with me is...
So, guys, Roy has a topic that he's really into, and everyone else on this podcast hates.
I don't hate it. I think it'll be fine.
All right. So, also with me today is Sandy Barnabas. How are you today, Sandy?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Eating ice cream in bed.
There we go. Great. Doesn't get much better than that. Sandy, I'm unemployed and the world's smallest violin is playing for me, Barnabas. He's eating his sad unemployment vanilla fudge ice cream.
Sad unemployment, most commercially expensive available brand. Ben Jerry's.
And then last, but definitely not least, is Sid. How you doing today, Sid?
I'm good. Still employed, but I'm always open to new things.
Well, didn't you get like a month off when the fires were going?
Oh, 8 days. 8 days of natural disaster. It didn't feel like much of a vacation.
All right. So we've missed y'all while we've been in between episodes, and so I think we'll jump into it because we've actually gotten a lot of FFG news. In fact, today dropped spoilers for, I know what Aaron is looking most forward to, the Martell box. So we got a whole bunch of fucking ridiculous cards that were dropped on us today. Is there one that jumps out to you guys that you want to talk about first?
Yeah, the one that doesn't die is unreal.
And that is the one with the super sweet art, right?
Yeah, I know what art looks like.
Let me see.
It's the one that when it's discarded for intrigue, you gain a power, and when it's killed for military,
yes,
you gain a power. That card is amazing. And
Obella Sand.
Obella Sand, yeah.
Probably shouldn't have been printed.
Yeah, she's a ridiculous card. And the thing is about her, she's non-loyal. Like, that's ridiculous. So
right. So, like, in first edition, we had Darkstar, right? Where if he was discarded, he would enter play. And that was, like, restricted to the house only. Like, this, you just throw it in, and you're like, oh, Banner of the Sun. Here's 3 of my cards are this, for sure.
Are you playing 3 of her? I was wondering what the number was. Do you think it's 3 of it?
It's 2.
Why not?
It's got to be 2. Like, I mean, if she dies to Valor, she's dead, right? And then it's a dead draw.
Yes.
Well, no, I guess when she's discarded for intrigue claim, she's not a dead. It's not, right?
Yeah.
Right, but if she dies to Valor, she's dead forever.
Yeah.
It's killed for military claim.
She's not dead forever because when she's discarded, well, actually, I don't know. Because it says shuffle a Obella Sand from your discard or dead pile into your deck. So you can
everything is self-referential. You don't get to shuffle all the copies in.
You don't get to choose which copy?
No, you don't get to shuffle like the one that it references the card itself. It always does.
Yeah, but that's not what's important. What's important is close call, flea bottom, and have fun.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean,
it's like getting rid of her is a nightmare.
I mean, nobody plays those cards,
well,
Aaron.
But she's still, hold on. I mean, to briefly go against my argument, like she always works as the intrigue claim soak, right? Even if she's in the dead pile, right? So even if you draw her dead, she's still protecting cards, I guess, in your hand. I don't know. Like,
it still works, yeah. She's not even the best flea bottom target in this spoiler article, though.
Oh my god, yeah.
I'm surprised we didn't start with that, which is Shadow City Bastard,
This card,
which is
are
just
you
such
gonna-
a ridiculous card.
I'm gonna
Like,
call that Orphan of the Green Blood for the next 3 years. It's gonna be really fucking annoying.
repeatable orphan, repeatable orphan.
easily
especially,
repeatable.
especially when the title Orphan of the Green Blood's already been used in second edition.
Yeah.
True.
Well, but the problem is, this is like just the best flea bomb target in the game immediately, right? Because this is
Sure,
better
it
than
is.
Second Sons.
Yeah.
Like it turns off Second Sons. Can we rename our podcast to whatever the fuck that thing is called? The Shadow
His name
City
is-
Bastards.
Well, I mean, name is
Shadow-
Orphan. Actually, Shadow City Bastards is a pretty cool name. I might
Yeah,
It's a
pick
good name. It's got good art too. So art's apparently
It
my
is.
thing today. So
It's Magali, right? Didn't somebody
yeah,
say it was
Magali, yeah.
Jeez.
So
It is. I'm thankful that there is the cost restriction. It's not going to stop it from being used, but at least she can't just wreck all your big guys like that. That's a silver lining on a pretty powerful card. I won't say broken because of that restriction, but
Right.
No,
Man,
I don't know.
you're right.
if we didn't
No,
have
you're
Flea
right,
Bottom,
Sid.
it wouldn't be broken. But like every turn,
I mean,
It's actually-
goes in there like
no.
cards every turn. Yeah, yeah.
Sid, you make a good point. It is good to know that if you do invest a lot of gold in your characters and you just have a bunch of 6-cost characters, there's no way for your opponent to erase that board advantage at all.
Right.
Well,
Like-
they're never gonna erase one of your big costers, though, right? I mean, you're always gonna have at least one. They can't just shut it all down. I'm saying,
Yeah. so
would you
the Night's
rather she
Watch
not have the
Banner-
strength
there-
restriction, or you just the cost restriction? Just let her hit everybody. Even
The
better.
Night's
that way.
Watch
What are you
Banner
talking
sub
about?
deck is going to Craven your 2 7s and then hit all your 5s with this thing. It'll be great.
Isn't there an attachment locked away or something, or confinement? Like there's a bunch of attachments that like just
I like take
Get
the
rid of one
character
character.
away
Locked
at
away
the
is
end of
loyal, I
the phase or
think,
something.
so what
yeah.
you're saying, Sandy, is you're going to build a Stark Sun deck that's basically Corey and
No.
Seth's idea, where you just are playing Stark for Marriage Pact, and then a bunch of these obnoxious like shut your
So-
shit off effects.
what I'm going to try and figure out how to do is play Blood of the Dragon every turn because that they can't even bring her into play then, and I'm fine.
There we go.
she's not
No,
unique.
my Martell
All it's
Summer
gonna
deck,
take.
where they
I
get a
know.
+1 strength if a Summer plot is revealed. Boom, Martell Summer, man, Martell Summer.
This box, there better be some good cards for other houses because this is just total garbage.
They're not
like,
gonna be. It's
new-
gonna be. It's one card or 2 cards. What is it? 2 cards?
And the other cards in the
Not gonna be
box.
Well, I mean, like Ario Hota is ridiculous as well. Like,
Yeah,
all right,
It's
Yeah,
like-
I like that the article was like, oh, you might have a hard time replacing Core Ario. I'm not going to have a hard
Nope.
time replacing Core Ario.
Dude, the axes. The axe. Why are we not talking about the axe? Holy
Yeah,
shit!
no,
the
the
axe.
axe- not
oh yeah, that axe is pretty good. Like whatever.
it's super good with Car Arion too. Like,
Well, yeah,
Oh.
it's just gonna constantly be popping in and out of your hand. Freaking Shadows Act. That's what it is
Wait,
now.
They gave us a new Arion. Why would they give us a new Arion? Who thought that was a good idea?
A third
But,
Arion?
well, you need more. Three.
No,
Three's the magic number.
No, what's her name? No, not she's not.
Oh, you're
actually-
talking about.
Oh no, you mean the one that makes
Oh,
everyone Arian?
Oh.
Yeah.
oh,
the one that makes-
Obara.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
She's terrible. Oh, good
So-
terrible.
When I skimmed, I was at work when I first popped this article open, and I was skimming it, and I thought when I read the sentence about it's going to be hard to replace the corset version, they meant Obara, and I was like, hey, why did that go? That's hard to replace.
She's awesome.
Yeah, she's really good. At least she doesn't work really well with her sister Nymeria. Like the ability to get negative attachments easily off Nymeria. But I guess you can return Nymeria as the cost, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
For
then all those
Nymeria.
attachments just go away. Like you can't really stop Nymeria. Not with melts at least.
Well, you can if someone for some reason isn't running her.
Yeah, but I mean, it's you Nightmares Nymeria. They're like, okay, fine. She's my Obera Sand. I guess you Nightmares Obera, but then they're using Nymeria. Like it's just it's bullshit.
Yeah. And then, like,
Interestingly, Ario Hota's axe, I didn't realize it's not just enters play using ambush, it's enters play during the challenges phase.
Yeah.
So,
That's how
like-
the Martell shit works. Yep.
I'm just
Yeah,
sad. I'm
that's-
just sad that
that's
it's Martell only, so the Second Sons can't grab the axe on their way in. From
Just like flea bottom, man. Just flea
but
bottom.
you can put it on
How?
your Shadow City Bastards.
you mean the name of our new? You mean the name of our new podcast?
Like your Shadow City Bastards.
Yeah.
That'll be our season 4. I mean, since all people will be playing after this box comes out is Martel, if the box is as generally good as these cards that were spoiled.
It's called staying relevant.
Yeah, we got it.
Every year.
Can we talk about false plans also? Because
I was gonna say
that's really good too.
Does it have to be at random? It's one where
it's an event that if you keep it in your hand and it gets discarded, you take 2 cards for intrigue claim.
Oh, I'm not 100% sure that's good.
Or you just pay
I don't
gold
think that one's
and
that
they
great.
discard a card from their hand. Like that's cheap.
No,
Yes,
look,
but you're trading 1 for 1. Why would you do that?
So it's also not loyal.
Unless
It
they
actually,
have 1 card in their hand. I'm not doing that. Like,
so I actually like a lot of these cards, like Dragon, Banner, Sun, because like you're gonna be like you don't care if you have an extra event in your hand, you can pitch it to other crap. And if they draw it for intrigue claim, like screw them.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of interesting stuff here because that's not the event's not loyal either.
Nope. It goes in like hand destruction decks, like either
Exactly.
Lannister or you can do it in Barra, and man, it's good, and you can play it again. Like there is annals.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what the Martel box is telling us, I think it's the real spoiler is that a restricted list is coming, right?
Oh, gotta be.
Like
Has to be.
Like I'm not even kidding. Like it kind of has to be.
It's Flea Bottom is crazy out of Martel now because all their good guys are 3 cost or lower. The pop-in people, like this whole article is just like should have been titled "How to Abuse Flea Bottom with New and Old Martel Cards." Here we got some new ones to abuse it. Here's some old favorites also, like Aereo and the Dorna Spy. But look what else we came up with. It's like, oh my god, it's a nightmare.
Can I just say to all the Stark House loyalists out there, don't go back and read the cards that you got in your box. It's just going to make you want to play yourself.
So as a House Stark player, the other day I'm looking at Roderick Cassell and I'm like this is like the best draw in Stark, right? Like if he's clearly trash. But like, hey, has anyone looked at that one that the Night's Watch box got, where it's like
Bowen Mars that gives everybody insight.
And it works on offense and defense, and he doesn't have to participate. And I'm just like,
and he gives you +1 reserve.
Yes, it's like mother. And then like you look at Box Cat, and you're like, oh man, she could be so. And then you look at Box Mace, and you're like, oh.
Box Cat is really good. She's just his name, Catelyn Stark. Like, literally, if she had been named another character,
you're wrong.
She would be fine.
Like compare
I think
just
Compare to Mace,
compare her to Mace.
I'm not saying compare to nothing.
But if you could play that card and the other cat, Stark would be really interesting. But
what this is telling me is the Targ box is just going to blow everything out of the water.
Oh my god,
those are already broken.
There's going to be some like Danny that I don't know, like puts 9-cost dragons into play for free, and it's like is a Flea Bottom herself, so you get 2 Flea Bottoms or something. Oh god,
I just assumed that FFG was going to make an announcement like we're skipping the Targ box. We're going back around. We're having a second Stark box. Like,
a revised set plus a Stark box.
They need it. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, they should.
I mean, the card pool doesn't disagree with you, so.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know.
Would be nice, so it will never rotate. Yeah. So, we have any more thoughts about the Martel box spoilers?
I mean, so I was a first edition Martel. I won't say House loyalist because I'm never too loyal. I just play with what's going to win. But I really enjoy the heck out of Martel in first edition. So I've got tons and tons of like Martel power tokens, old Martel house cards, just nonsense that's just waiting to get dusted off, and I'm looking forward to it.
I really thought there was going to be another card spoiled based on just reading the titles of the like the section headings of the article. The last section is called Thirst for Blood. Does anyone remember the first edition attachment?
Yeah.
I think that was Taste for Blood.
Taste for Blood, because their agenda was Bloodthirst, but isn't Taste for Blood just Summer Steed? Like, it's the same thing.
No. No.
Doesn't it lose every time you gain a power?
You gained a power?
Yeah, it's gain a power every time you lost, and wasn't it +1 strength for each power or something?
And it was non-unique, so you just load up like 3 characters, or 1 character with 3 of them. I remember that little trick.
The Viper.
The Viper with 3 of them.
Great. It's so stupid.
No, it's 1 strength total, not 1 strength for each power.
So
Anyway.
why don't we go on to then the last chapter pack of the third cycle, or fourth cycle, excuse me, was announced a week ago, I think. And the card that everyone is talking about is Host of the Boneway, which is a Martel card, 6 cost, military, intrigue, 4 strength, non-loyal, army, intimidate, no attachments. Host of the Boneway gets +1 strength for each plot card in your use pile. Right?
It seems
This is the card.
lackluster compared to the box cards.
I know. Oh wait, there's this like shit event that's called Someone Always Tells. Like, is this card any good? What do you think, Aaron? Is that card good?
I think that people that don't think it's good are woefully misinformed about how this game works.
So, I mean,
it's
how
nice
much played it out?
Humans having another shot at it.
How much played it out Witsy though? Like, that's all I'm saying.
Hey,
Only cancel plots, right? That the flexibility of this, the fact that it's a 2 gold cancel. They can't do that stupid game where it's hands judgment to your Dracaris. Hands judgment. Fuck. I pay 2 gold. It's hard to. You then have to pay for your own event plus save 2 gold for your own hand judgment to cancel my cancel. Right? It's any event. It cancels range triggers. Right? There's more like plot flipping. Like we didn't get the bullshit SoCal deck until the last cycle. Right? With Wheels Within Wheels. Like there wasn't that much plot cycling as there is actually in second edition. Right? With Reigns. Like the fact that this says, and Reigns is a bad matchup for Martel times, right?
There's a
Unless
lot
they're
of
playing
ways to
Martel
get
Reigns
gold
with
in plot
the bonus.
phase now, too.
Yeah.
A lot
Trade
of
rates.
Is there a lot of ways? I don't think there are a lot.
I mean,
There's
like 4
3?
different plots you can run, and right?
Wait,
2
what?
different- Yeah.
What
Yeah,
else
and
other than trade routes and
Trade routes, calling the
long
banners, Rangers,
plan.
Ash, long plan.
You can also just play the plot that reduces all your events by 2 and just it's free.
But you won't play that. But I mean, you can do things like flip trade routes, right? And then they have the choice whether or not you're giving them an opportunity. If they make you first, which players want to do against Martel all the time, well then you can cancel their when revealed, or they make you second, and then they get part of their game plan, correct, right? So like just the ability to, if this is seeing a lot of play, it really makes the plot phase and the idea and long plan, right, is also a great way for them.
You
to
can
I like
set it
how
up
you guys
so that
are-
like 5 of your plots can allow you to play this, no problem. Easily,
without
you can
screwing
set that up.
the game.
You mean 5 of your 10 plots at that point?
Yeah, if you want to do it that way, even better.
Yeah.
I like how you guys are all in favor of like forcing your opponent to make hard decisions when it's this event and not when it's words or wind, which is clearly
not a
on the
hard
same
decision.
level.
It's not
Right.
a hard
You said
decision
hard
at all.
decisions.
Yeah, there's no decision here. You just screw them up.
It's really. I don't think. I think Aaron. Rather, Sandy, you would be right if it was just outwit. It would not be as good. But
Yeah,
well,
I
because you don't
actually
have-
forgot I could cancel other bullshit.
Hey, you know what did see play? Remember that plot that canceled other plots? Was that Outwit?
That was outwit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then what? But there was another plot. Oh, your plots.
counter plot, whatever the event
Yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah.
That
There
Tyrion
was-
on the picture. Prize 3, right?
Yeah. Prize.
Yeah, yeah.
No, there was
They should switch the Wheels Within Wheels and counterplot prize numbers, because Wheels Within Wheels should have been a 3. Counterplot should have only been a 2.
Wheels was fucking dumb.
In the
Yes,
best way.
In the only because Johnny is the one who figured it out. If Johnny didn't figure that shit out, you would have hated that card forever. That card was dumb.
Sure. If DC had brought that deck, I'd be like, fuck those guys.
Yep.
They didn't. This card's good. I mean, if you don't think it's good, you're gonna get beat by it.
just don't run any plots with when revealed
That
effects.
sounded like such a
Yeah, like no resets, right? Just stop.
4 to
running
5
resets.
position meta, man. 4 to 5
Shouldn't be a
position.
problem against Martel. No resets.
That can cancel. It can cancel any triggered effect. So it even cancels the delayed stuff, right?
Right,
Or
first snow.
cancels events
yeah.
or triggered plots.
So
it
it,
can
it will cancel first snow.
Yeah, it cancels forced snow.
Yeah, but not passive effects.
Correct. Yeah.
So the 4 to 5 position, right?
So this is actually an implicit
It can
buff to Blood of the
cancel one
Dragon.
instance
what I'm
of
hearing.
+2 for Wardens of the South. Exciting.
It can cancel Doharis. Is that event loyal? It better be, right?
It can
It's
cancel
loyal.
the
It is loyal.
You can definitely
Someone always
cancel.
tells me loyal. Yes.
Yeah, of course it's loyal. But you can't
I
nail
think-
your faction before plots. It doesn't matter. Like you can't fealty to cheap it.
No.
Uh,
There are multiple fucking. There's like I think you can run a full plot deck of shit that lets you use this.
Just close. If you can't actually do it, it's close.
It's what? One or two. What? Pick calling the banners or trade routes, right?
Trade routes, counting,
Or
calling.
meddling.
Can't he count? What,
Wait,
how
not
can
counting.
he do that?
Trade routes,
Counting.
calling. What's it called? The long plan.
Rangers
Cash.
Rangers
Long
cash.
plan.
That's 4.
So you can do long
there's
plan into Rangers
Meddling,
cast,
yeah.
so you can
Yeah,
have
you
it for both those turns.
Then Littlefinger's meddling.
Mhm.
So that's 6,
And then
Um,
reset.
and then a reset. Yep.
There you go. Then Valor. One of the Valors. Pick one. There you go. There's your plot deck. Have fun playing against that.
Like,
All right.
what about a
Okay.
Martell big guy deck that they just can't reset you on? Like that. They can't march you. They can't reset you. Like you just own it.
Have you met
Core
the new
Doran
Have,
meta.
have
Yeah,
you met
that's right.
Have you met the new Ariane?
I have met the new Ariane. She's awesome.
She says you don't get to keep that on the board. That's silly.
That's true. What would this-
But speaking about cards that are good in other factions, which we were saying, Saltcliffe Sailor, which was spoiled, is I think really good.
The fuck
Right?
is that?
She
It's the one
is
with the L5R art.
with the L5R art.
oh,
That isn't
I-
actually L5R card because that is the house. If you look at her symbol on her little sash, that is the
That's the
house
Saltcliffe
Saltcliffe symbol. Yeah.
So I don't know what it does.
Okay. You should know because we talked about it in the white book that's coming out on Friday.
Yes.
Saltcliffe Sailor
That
is a
was a week
bestow
ago.
3 Greyjoy non-loyal character, cost 2, has a military and power icon, 1 strength, and says each character you control with 1 or more gold has stealth. Action, move 1 gold from Saltcliffe Sailor to a Greyjoy character you control.
Oh, that's
Does
real
it say
good.
Greyjoy? It's not just any character.
You can only move gold to Greyjoy characters, but any character
Oh.
with gold has stealth. So Begging
I,
Brother
I
has
really
Begging
I really
brothers
thought
stuff.
I could use this to repopulate Erie, but I guess
No,
not.
but
No.
Venomous Blade's gonna
I would hate that.
Venomous Blade's gonna really like this.
Yeah,
You
because
have
Greyjoy
gold.
doesn't have any way of saving them. So
Dude, you are not saving that card.
If it gives
I
me
saved-
5 stealth,
I saved
yeah,
my
I'm
shit
saving that
for
card.
stealth.
If you save that card, I am more than happy and just be like, all right, cool, Valor. Like, you don't have limits.
save-
It just feels like that.
I save Lordsport Shipwright versus Martell 100% of the time.
Definitely save it, right?
I had a lot of Greyjoy players save Lord Sport Shipwrights in games against me this past weekend. So,
That probably feels good though. You're just like, that's nice.
oh, it's
it's
annoying,
not-
but I'm
Yeah,
just
but
like,
that's all
okay,
it is.
it's not Euron. So,
What was it against Roy where I stood him in marshalling with Plaza Pride to Neil, like the second Haunted Forest?
I don't think it was. I don't think it was that our game. I don't know. It might have been.
I don't know. I did that against Builder
Oh.
Stack.
Hey guys, did we talk about how Roy had to cheat to win?
Oh,
Like, are we just
Go
gonna
on.
are we gonna ignore that this happened? Like, hey, who's the organizer of the Northeast tournament scene? Whose idea? Roy Rogers. Who's suddenly somehow like a king of this upcoming tournament needed a win to boost his credibility? Hosting his own tournament. Yeah, Roy.
I missed.
Roy
hold on.
definitely. And he. Oh, by the way, he swears he has no emails setting this up. Roy deleted his emails. Roy's a cheater.
I missed the part where we invited Booker onto our podcast.
Ugh, that's your friend for reasons.
But
You
it's
sounded- you
your
sounded
current
exactly like-
persona, Glazer. Ooh.
I greatly
Feels icky.
appreciate
Feels
the love.
It
and
is. I think it is his birthday, either today or yesterday.
Hey.
yes.
Happy birthday! Go play
Happy
forever.
birthday, Booker.
We know you
Uh,
watch our show.
So, does anyone else have any other thoughts about sort of the spoiled cards between our last episode and this one? So,
I'm glad they're not coming out before Thrones War.
Yeah, right. That's
yeah, well, you know what's sad is the next pack is coming out 2 days before
2
Thrones
days
War.
before. so
Wait.
Fourth, third.
Is it going to be legal?
No,
No.
it's not going to be legal. They did the FFG rule, right? Ryan said 11 days, right?
11 days. Yep.
Oh, thank God.
Look, are you saying
Yeah,
that like green
We already
site?
got our toy, Sandy.
That's true.
Like,
I don't want anyone else to have theirs.
Sandy's like, oh God, I knew a broken green site deck for Targ. I don't want them to have that. Okay. Yeah, so look out for the next chapter pack, which will be out next week, next Thursday. I'm sure that with our post-war episode, we'll also talk a little bit about that pack. It looks like there's some exciting cards in there. Again, green site, the most exciting agenda that Danny has designed so far. Just super excited for that agenda. Great use of card spot.
Hey, you know how
Yeah.
Bruno's disappeared from Thrones? He's got exactly one Thrones opinion right now. One. He's on my Thrones War team, so I know his one Thrones opinion. His one Thrones opinion is Mace Tyrell is stupid and bad design.
He's not wrong.
No, it's just like, I like that that's the first opinion you have when you come back to the game. It's just like, yeah, no, that card is a disaster.
Card is very frustrating to play against sometimes.
Says the Builders player? Are you
Milk.
kidding me?
Gotta roll milk. Hey, he can beat builders if you can't blank him. You'll just
No,
lose
he
to him.
he can beat builders real easy.
Easily.
Well,
You have to see
I hope
two
he
Dolphins
does.
in that matchup, and that cannot always be easy. Like, trust me, because I've been
Yeah.
testing. Spoiler
real.
alert! I've been testing
Two of your
Dolphins.
guys sideways and search for it.
But here's the thing: it takes more than one character in builders to just own the board. He's one guy. You see one character, and you're like, "Here we go, I'll win now."
I mean,
it's
possibly.
worse. It's worse.
I would argue that possibly you should run cards that can target one character and get rid of them.
Oh, builders.
I mean,
does.
if only you built decks to be versatile against single solitary Voltron characters.
But the whole deck's not a Voltron deck. It doesn't need him. It just he makes it broken.
yeah.
Right. You
It
just
just-
put Milk of the Poppy on him or whatever.
Two. You have to have two. They run confiscation. You have to
Yeah.
have two.
Yeah, you
Right.
need that second
Well,
note.
how many did
Like-
you see in two plots versus me, Roy? You saw all three Milks and two Cravens? Like, why did you-
Anecdotal, Sandy. Anecdotal. Rub some dirt on it, man.
Roy's gonna win. Roy's gonna win Thrones War. I'm calling it now.
No,
Roy is
no.
the
I would-
Thrones
I would-
War
I would-
I
winner.
wouldn't be shocked. We can't beat his deck.
No, we can't either. We're just like, oh, God.
Yes, I mean, what you're playing Stark? If you see all three frozen solids, like
Oh, well, that with all the draw I have, that seems very likely.
I don't know. Whenever I test against Stark, there's always the fucking goddamn frozen solids. At least two.
Yeah,
it's
but-
always two. It's like Gift, Castle Black. I'm like, oh, God fucking damn it.
Aaron's
whatever.
right.
Everyone
Every time
hate-
you
look.
finish a start game, you look at your deck and you're like, 42 cards left in my draw deck. All right, that feels about right. Saw about 26 cards. That was great game. Yeah, sucks. There's no draw.
Gates
What
of
is the best
Winterfell,
guy
by the way,
here?
is my least favorite card in Thrones. I hate Gates of Winterfell. I can run fucking like 47, 48 card and every fucking time. I'm like, hey, look, a Rose Road.
It's stupid. It's the worst draw thing in the world. It's like,
I hear it's really good with Old Town.
Oh, well, our producer told us that we have another news issue that we need to talk about, which is a post that came up in the Facebook group today, I believe Trey posted this. Yeah. Frequent listener, longtime commenter, Trey, about Asha, the new Asha, and whether or not the fact that she has this exponential growth in the number of cards both your opponent has to count and you have to go through your deck, and the ways in which these increasingly scaling effects, and of course builders with its constant like kneel 2 builders, search 10 cards, kneel 2 builders, search 10 cards, trigger Isle of Ravens.
Trey doesn't want to talk about this.
Oh, he doesn't? Well,
He's in the
Buzz,
chat. He
Buzz,
says we don't.
Buzz just dumped this on me. So.
He's not on the podcast, so he won't be talking about it. But we will.
But anyway,
Yeah.
but in general, it's not just Asha, but a variety of effects and a variety of decks. Builders, Tyrell Summer and Tyrell Bitterbridge with the girl who's like, draw 2 cards, look at the cards, drawing 2 more cards again. Like there's like a lot, currently there's a lot of just general plays in the way that which cards are designed that slow the game down.
Can't wait till Dorn comes out.
Yeah. So
You leave my Martell cards alone.
what do we think? Though?
I'm looking forward to playing Dorn as much as you are, man.
I'm engineering a trade to Alex Black's team in anticipation of Dorn. That's what's happening.
So I actually I played with Asha at a reasonably large tournament, and I don't think it adds time at all. Really, like I didn't feel like, other than my game against you, Roy, but I also took like 10 minutes waiting for the bathroom in that game, so that was unanticipated. But like, I didn't go to time. I didn't even come close to going to time. I was shuffling my deck pretty much every other plot, if not every plot. It didn't seem bad at all. I think a lot of it is that you kind of know what you're looking for. Mm-hmm. It's not like you're sitting there. And like, if they had 8 cards last plot and you just did a pillage, like they probably had 9 cards, maybe 10 if there was also entry claim. Like, it's not super hard to remember that.
Yeah. It also doesn't take a super a lot of time. You just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, done.
I usually count out my deck as they're counting their discard pile, so like I just match them. But I also think like
it gets to a point where I know like vaguely how much it is and stop there, and then like get 2 or 3 more if they have a couple extra or whatever.
I do worry that in a bigger tournament, like if we get to like L5R sizes for a tournament,
that seems likely.
Well, I mean, in Europe,
I mean, Stolic is as big as any L5R tournament, so.
But I think like there is like definitely a place where people could play slowly, deliberately, just to get the timed win or whatever, get the concession. Especially if you're playing like, you know, a deck that you know they're gonna have a reset or whatever, and you're like, oh, I've got 18 power and renown right now. Now I think like, wasn't there a thing about this in L5R? Like, wasn't there some controversy about the guy playing really, really slowly?
At Worlds, the world champion was accused and basically admitted to slow playing within the rules. Like
this is an easy solution, guys. Like, your whole solution is you call a judge. If the judge doesn't do anything, you scoop and go drink. Problem solved.
That's fair.
I mean, like it's a reasonable solution. I mean, the problem is, Aaron, like at an official FFG event, it says slow play is discouraged, but there's no clear like definition that a judge can go like, that's obviously slow play, right? When you have to look at like 19 cards, a player can make an argument.
You're doing this, right? You look like you're doing something.
Yeah, it's like I have decision paralysis. Like, it's 19 fucking cards. That's a lot of cards. I mean, it's reasonable. And I think it just depends on, I don't know, your speed. Like, I've never when Asha's been played against me and my opponent, you know, like, again, I've been playing builders recently and there's a lot of cards on my discard pile frequently, right? And I'm not like feeling like, oh my god, this is going to take them forever, because they almost always need like 1 or 2 cards they're looking for, right? And most are deciding between 2 cards, right? And the same with all the searches for builders. It's like, I'm searching in this case for a practice blade, right? And if I don't see the practice blade, then I have to make a choice, right? So like, and more often than not, particularly with Asha, you're going to find what you want, right? And that's the whole point of her. That's why she's so good. So
or you're just going to realize in the builder's case that you have no outs, so you can just move on with your life, like Aaron said.
Yes.
It's like, oh, cool, I don't have any answers to this absurdity.
That's honestly my answer to that kind of deck. Like, if I sit down against one of those decks at a tournament, my full plan is just go drink. I'm not wasting 40 minutes of my life. There's alcohol, like, right across the street from most of my tournaments, if not closer.
Cool.
I hope we play against each other, Aaron. That'd be great. Because then you'll scoop, and then I'll just go drink with you. It's like it's a win, literally, and a win for me.
That's actually what happened.
That'd be perfect.
Happened on CT.
And that's when Johnny kicked Aaron off his team.
Speaking of Thrones War,
so I can get traded somewhere else.
I want to make some updates to Thrones War news.
Okay.
When I was in Vegas with other Thrones War people, we made some wagers on the outcomes. So I'm going to publicly call out Stephen Ebrey on some of his wagers.
These are good.
No one is. I'm trying to think what the other one I had with him was, but the one that I remember and the one that I think is most ridiculous. No one here is on the Baratheon team, right?
No, just Dark Knight.
Yeah. So Stephen Ebrey thinks that his team will have a record of 10-3 or better versus the Baratheon team, and if he loses that bet, he has to come to Red Saturday.
Is his team Targ?
Targ,
yeah.
Yeah, no, he should.
Yeah,
10-3. So he's basically saying Louise, Naj, and who's the other bear? There's another.
Steven's never been to Thrones War. He doesn't know how hard that is. He doesn't know. Sandy's been on the opposite end of that. He knows
it's a ridiculous thing, but I'm basically like,
Also, I'm not at all convinced Vera has a negative matchup versus Targ, having played against them significantly.
Steven mentioned this at the store championship we played on Saturday, and I called him out. I called his hubris out. I was like, "Man, you have no idea how bad that bet is." And he is Team Lannister from last year. The confidence is through the roof. And I had this. My new prediction. You know what my prediction is? Targ finishes bottom half. That's my new prediction. Bottom half.
I don't think that's possible with the team that they have, though.
Oh, it's possible.
I mean, it's possible, but like they also have Jesse, they have Alejandro, they have. I mean, Steven's a good player. Jessica Thompson, like that's 4 like excellent players right there.
I'm going to be last, 5th place.
Fifth place. Okay.
I actually agree. Having played a top tier house and just getting crushed because everyone has practiced so much against you. It's actually not that difficult to beat Targ. I don't know. I mean, you can get unlucky, but you can't get unlucky that many times in a row. 13 games versus every house.
Yeah. So Sandy just transitioned for us. So why don't we just go into sort of final Thrones War prediction, because this is our last episode before Thrones War. So the predictions that we're going to be making here, we cannot. So when we're talking about like who's going to win, we cannot pick our own teams. So that, or our own players. So that again, that saves Chris Schoenthal from like the angst of like of his own team. So thinking about other teams and their possibilities. So obviously we all want and believe that our team will either do really well or win the whole thing, but we have to sort of step aside and say, look, we're not going to talk about our own teams. Who do we think are the 2 strongest teams going into the event besides your own?
So I can't pick Stark as the strongest team. Are you sure?
Yes, you cannot pick Stark as the strongest team.
Can I clarify? You mean at the end of the day, we obviously want our team to be first, but who do we think are going to be 2 and 3 at the end of like Thrones War? Okay.
I'm going to say Night's Watch and Lannister.
Ooh, interesting.
Ooh, I like your first prediction.
I'm just looking at the rosters, man.
I hear you.
I will say that it's going to be, I think, Greyjoy and Targ.
I disagree with that.
I'm going Night's Watch and Martell. I don't think Martell has any bad matchups right now.
Okay, but do they have the players to carry that through?
Yes.
I mean, they play stally bullshit.
I think the winner of Thrones War is either going to be Ryan or a Martell player.
I don't think.
I guess Lanny and Martell.
I don't think Ryan will win simply because of what Thrones War is. Like, I can't imagine.
I don't think he thinks that he has said to me he will not ever win Thrones War.
Because think about this: you have to organize it. You have your wonderful, amazing wife is helping you, but you got to make sure that she feels that she's supported, right? You've got all these people who are thinking about like this is Ryan's event, and that's like just a lot of shit going on in your head besides your individual games.
I agree with you on that side.
Ryan can play.
But also, it's Lanny crossing. Like you can win in 2 turns. Like you can be like organizing the tournament for 40 minutes and still win.
Yeah, but Roy's point is right. He has so much weighing on it.
There's like mental.
It's tough.
And he's constantly running around asking, like he was asking me, "How's the stream going? What do you need for the stream? How's it?" Like he's not a passive TO. He's running the tournament. He's running the event which is like bigger than just a tournament, and he's leading his team. And he's playing. I mean, he's wearing a lot of hats. Like I don't. I wore just a couple of hats last year. And I was like, this is too much. I wasn't in charge.
Clone of himself when he was, doing back-to-back world championships, and Sam Bratz like merged into a teleporter. And I still think he couldn't like get to that space very easily, right, to win the tournament. And I love Ryan. I think he is one of the best players in the world. But it's just the nature of these things, right? Particularly when you are running something. There's nothing quite like this, right? Particularly where the primary TO is running the event and running one of the teams, right? Like it's not like they have a whole team of people that they don't play, right? Same with FFGOP, right? I've run smaller 50-plus person tournaments that I've played in, and I play piss poor when I do that because you've got like a lot of stuff going on. Like it could start raining on your players, and from the ceiling, and that's going to impact your ability to play properly, right? So there's lots of things that could go wrong that would impact Ryan. So, but all right. So did we get everyone's predictions? Sid, did you not? You didn't predict
mine.
the teams.
Mine is
1 or 2 and 3, I guess.
I'm Greyjoy Martell. 1 for the players. The first one for the players. The second one for the faction. I think those 2 will be right there.
You really, yeah. I think Martell is going to be the sleeper hit. To be honest, like I think they'll do.
I don't think they're that much of a sleeper. Like really,
Wow.
people.
I think Greyjoy is top heavy. Like I wouldn't be surprised if like one of the Greyjoy players won, but I feel like Greyjoy is very top heavy.
I feel
That's
like
what we want you to think.
that was the story for Barra last year, right? I feel like that was Barra last year. Barra won it all, but they were definitely a top heavy team.
Kevin,
did not win it all.
Who else?
Oh,
wait.
the player one.
Yeah.
Barra didn't. Yeah, I mean, but Barra had. Was it just 2? Was it just Bruno and Kevin that broke?
Bruno and Kevin, right? That was their.
But they were both
heavy
the top
team.
4, right?
Yes.
Yep. Bruno was. Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
but I don't see that same level of top heaviness in Greyjoy. It's
I think
the weight is longer.
Aaron's underestimating some of our locals, which is fine. Like
No,
he doesn't
but-
know them.
But I think your team though, and I mean this as a compliment to your drafting ability, Chris, is the most top heavy team though. Like I'm just trying to think of because there's what
I think you're dramatically overestimating me.
Struhall.
No, you didn't count.
Malucci.
This is Sandy.
Like that's 4 really fantastic.
You left out arguably the best player on our team. No offense, Chris.
I'm not
Which
offended.
just goes to show you, like they
Kevin.
are discounting SoCal local players.
No, I said
Kevin.
Kevin, didn't I? I said Kevin. Didn't I? I said Kevin, Malucci, Dan, and Chris. That's and Sandy. Like you're a good player, and like that's 5 people. And I know there's some good locals, right? So that's a really strong team. Like Chris did a good job. Like I think Greyjoy on a player level is probably the overall team to beat. Like you've got to be real careful going into that. There's not easily identify weak points. That doesn't mean your matchups might not be favorable,
Sure.
but you can't rely on the matchups, right? The way you can, I think, against some of the other factions.
Hey, do you guys have any fun build, or are you just going pure? It's never mind. It's Chris's team. Pure efficiency, huh? Most boring, straightforward decks
Who are you
possible.
talking to?
It's definitely Chris's way. All right, cool.
I tried to make a fun deck, and it was just total garbage.
It wasn't
Like total garbage.
I don't know that Greyjoy really has. I mean, obviously every house has fun decks, but do they have fun decks?
Yeah,
that
there's a
can-
limit to the fun that Greyjoy can have too. It's true.
It's like
Yeah.
you want to win challenges by a lot and trigger a bunch of stuff, right? Well, then then you're
How many
probably not
how
playing
many
enough fun.
how many core Balons?
Core Balon. Ooh, that's a good question.
Zero?
Probably
Yeah.
not that many. Yeah, I would say low.
Definitely, it's a non-zero number. It's absolutely
Oh, yeah.
non-zero.
I mean, the question is, do they have any HRD Great Krakens? And if they have HRD Krakens, then there's some core Biolons floating around.
Right.
So
Why would
reasonable
you
stuff.
run 7-cost Balon out of anything? Well, whatever. I don't know.
Severcus Balon is redonk.
Yeah, 7 cost
I
Balon.
have at least 3 better 7-costers to run in my deck. At least 3.
So at least 3. So Asha, okay, absolutely. Euron, okay, I can see that. Dagmar's not better.
No.
It's not Dagmar.
Oh, Miri? No, Miri's not better. What's
I don't know. I don't know.
Dario.
Oh, Dario?
Jack and Hagar.
Oh, Jack and... Oh, my God.
Mance Raider,
You know
obviously.
what's a really good thing to get around Jack and Hagar? Don't run any unique characters in your deck.
They kill the shit out of Halder. He's going to get all 3 of the Valor Morgulus.
Trigger 3 times. Sweet.
Oh,
Okay, close call.
Then Halder triggers 5 times to stop it. So Trigger Halder.
Jockin is not winning
Trigger Halder.
alone against Night's Watch. That seems unlikely.
He can sometimes do shenanigans, but again, not that many against builders. But against Night's Watch,
Roy's telling you guys, Roy's gonna win war, and then we're gonna have to deal with Ego Roy forever. And like,
I can see it.
Like the vegan smelling his own farts for the rest of eternity. That's what we're gonna have to deal with.
I actually,
The Shadow City Bastards will be the new podcast that's Sans Roy. That's what's gonna happen.
That really
you know what
actually
would be interesting?
ridiculous, Aaron.
Is, you know how we now
Roy,
have
don't believe
three?
it.
We have 3 circuits in the U.S., like 3 tournament circuits in the U.S., and we have 1 in Europe. It should be like whichever person wins Thrones War should like have the crown of that. So if Roy wins, it's the Northeast is like the premier event. And if somebody from the Midwest wins, it's like the Midwest is the premier event.
But enough people
And if
don't
someone
go
from
from the
SoCal.
East. I can still like
actually have
There's
Sure,
a pretty good
but it-
crew this year.
it's still like
pretty good.
80% California.
Yeah, but it's always
Yeah,
gonna be
but-
like that. But like Worlds is 80% Midwest. Like wherever you are with the way LCG games work, it's always going to be a majority of wherever
Yeah,
the fuck you are.
that also seems
Right.
unfair to the Europeans since there's like 3 going.
Yeah, but I mean, or South Americans. I mean, they don't even have a championship circuit. And if Luis wins, like, what are we going to do?
If Luis wins, he's the best player in Thrones. If a Barra player wins this, like this
don't know.
year,
I think Louise can win it with Barra. I mean, again, I don't know a lot of
Rush.
Barra players. Dark
Right,
Rush,
you know that it's gonna be a joust event, right?
I don't think
Actually, not.
I
Smith.
don't think-
I don't
Barra
think
will
Dark
make the
Knight
cut.
is
Like it's gonna happen, and people
Yeah,
you can't, you can't write anybody off.
So we're cutting
They're
to
gonna make the
32.
cut.
So it's even worse if your team doesn't manage to make the cut this year than it was last year.
every team will make the cut.
That's not historically accurate.
At 32, it will
Every
be
team will make the cut.
32.
with
it's
the
gonna
way
be-
the teams are distributed. Like there's enough franchise players
agree.
across the teams that at least one person will make it through.
So
Like if they had cut to top 32 last year, both Chris and I would have been in. Like and Simone would have been in. Like it was, the 16 was brutal last year. So
So here's a prediction: which team will have which team will have the fewest number of players in the cut?
Park.
no,
Targ.
Out of spite for Ibri.
Lannister.
No, actually,
Lannister.
No, I don't think it's Lannister. They have a ton of good players.
Yeah, I just think they have a lot of really hard matchups.
I'd say maybe Tyrell.
Ooh,
Are you,
Tyrell,
are you,
that's an
are you rooting
interesting
against the
choice.
players that no one knows?
it's not. I mean, Emma and Z are both really good. Justin and Michelle are pretty good. Like, I just think that I actually disagree.
They're struggling
It's-
they're struggling for decks though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
but
you
the
go with
all 4 people that run that banter bridge are going to win.
I mean,
they're going to
Banner Bridge can cheese its way,
Oh, yeah.
know,
no, that's
like-
true.
like
and crossing can just win sometimes. Like you win 30% of your games on setup essentially. So I don't think it's Tyrell. I honestly think it might be Stark, but that's because I think only like Sam and
no.
You're thinking maybe 2 to 3 in the cut.
Not at 32. Stark is going to be fine. Like with the player quality they have there, and the fact that Stark right now.
Hey, can I shout out a name that the SoCal guys know that has never been mentioned on this podcast? I don't know his last name, but Sean is awesome.
Sean
Oh,
McCallum?
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
he is incredible.
He is real
Yeah.
good.
I was very sad that he moved to South Carolina.
Yeah,
Oh, so he's
Oh,
East
he was-
Coaster now too. So that's another East Coast.
Is he on your team?
yeah.
He was on Stark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's my and I've met a lot of really good people and a lot of really good players, but he's my team's revelation to me because I didn't really know.
To you,
him.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
Well,
fine.
Everyone
Good.
knows that in SoCal. Everyone nationally doesn't know that Calahundro.
We can. I mean, he could be a breakout performance for him. Like,
I mean,
that'd be
he's
great.
made the cut. I think every war.
Which Sean is this?
It would
sorry,
surprise
which-
some of us, but not me.
was he on Night's Watch last year?
He was on Martel last year.
Johnny's
Martel.
team.
Martel, yeah.
Nice.
The winning team. Yeah.
So he and
also
he and
Johnny
John
knew
Mayer, I
Johnny
think,
knew what he was. So
Oh, yeah.
Is that Sean
We all-
Sean McCallum? That's who we're talking
yeah,
about?
very good. Yes.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Martel Wolf says Calahundro. Yeah, Martel Wolf I think is probably the best deck in the game right now.
yes,
I don't
Martel
think
Wolf is easily the best deck in the game.
Yeah.
But the beautiful thing about Thrones War is I will only have to play against Martel Wolf once.
at most.
Like,
At most.
At most.
At most, yeah.
So and maybe I'll roll well and not have to play against Martell Wolf.
I think
And
Martell
that
Wolf
would
is the
literally
best
be like, oh my! It's like
You did win
tension is
Thrones
already.
War.
Just think about the tension,
You
like
did win.
draining out of my body. I hate. Oh my god, the Martell Wolf matchup is just brutal.
I think Martell Wolf is the best deck in the game, and I think once the box comes out, I don't think it's particularly close.
I mean, there could be some other Martell build that's better than Martell Wolf at that point.
I don't think so. I mean,
Martell big guys. It's Martell big guys, guys.
The worst to come.
Doran.
The worst to come. Core Doran is really good right now.
Doran is
No.
Martell
He
Wolf
just made
big
top
guy.
4.
Why not that?
Yeah,
If I can
was my deck.
cancel Velardo Harris, I think I can play like 18 big guys and just win the game.
Well, you
Yeah,
can't
I
cancel.
mean,
You can't
the
cancel
fact
your
that
own.
there was an Aaron Glazer built Martell deck, I knew
Well,
some certain
and
things about that
Scott.
deck. Other people would
And
not
Scott.
be like, "Oh, I got to play around this card." I'm like, "No, Aaron wouldn't run that card. This card has no draw because Aaron doesn't put draw in deck." And it's like, all right, it's just like, all right, slow and steady this deck out, and it'll be fine.
Yeah. There's definitely no secret schemes in that deck. Whatever
I know,
comes
like,
up,
I asked
motherfucker.
Alex,
If it
after
didn't
the
run
top-
into you, it would have won the tournament.
it's like, there's no secret schemes, right? He's like, no. It's like,
If he didn't run into you, he would have won the tournament. He
Yeah, he
beats
could've.
everything else.
could have beaten.
Didn't he lose? He only lost to you, right, Roy?
Twice. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what happened to me Red Saturday.
That deck is unreal.
No
Yeah,
one
that's not even the
Very
best
solid.
Martell deck. It's not even a wolf. It's not even the best Martell deck.
up there though. It's definitely a really solid deck. Like,
Yeah.
and Alex played it really well.
Yeah, well, he's really good, and he got all the reps in. They gave it to him like a month and a half ago.
Yeah. But yeah. So well, what do we think? What do we think is going to be the most played agenda? Like across all the teams.
I mean, fealty for
Last
boring
night, no,
reasons.
no, I don't think so. Like the story last year was Banner Kraken, right? Chris and I have this story where, poor Neil, my current king or regent, he brought this really awesome Stark Winter deck that was real great, and he had just like one thing. He's like, it's a great deck unless everyone brings Banner Kraken. And then Neil went. First matchup was like Barra Kraken. Then the next matchup was like some other Kraken deck. Then he did one without a Banner Kraken. Won that game. Then another game against Banner Kraken, and I played I think 4 Banner Krakens on the day. Like it was ridiculous. Like last year was the year of Banner Kraken. That was sort of the deck that people went to, the agenda people went to. What do we think this year, without giving away your team's secret tech, do we think is going to be the overall most played agenda?
HRD and Wolf. HRD and Wolf. HRD then Wolf, I think. Hi,
I
Ella.
agree
Bye, Ella.
with HRD because every team's going to play some HRD. I think every team will have HRD builds, and every team will run some. Some teams will run 4, some will run a couple, but I think every team runs.
Let's
some
say
HRD.
every team is either running Banner Kraken or Banner Wolf, but very few are running both, right? Like,
I don't think we'll have a Banner Kraken.
yeah, well, sure. So every team is
Chris,
probably
you haven't
running-
seen my latest deck.
Wait, guys, every team is running one of the two, right? Like that means against everyone, but like if your HRDs just avoid that matchup, and like you've got reasonably good odds if like 2 or 3 people are bringing it to just only play 1 or 2 of that matchup and not really have a problem. Makes your HRD relatively safe, much safer than a regular tournament where Greyjoy is everywhere.
Yeah, and a lot of the Banner Kraken answers are not as good against HRD, right? The newly made lords don't do anything. You really have to go in all in on the warships in a Banner package, which maybe only Barra can do for Raid in the Bay of Ice to be any good. So, yeah. So so if you have a key location, unless you playing main faction against main faction Greyjoy, your HRD location is safe, relatively speaking.
I mean, no. I think you guys are dramatically underestimating how many Brotherhood without banners decks there are going to be that are running wildlings and scaling the wall. Because that's what I would do. And we all know how good.
So all right, we just learned what Sandy's deck is: Greyjoy Brotherhood running scaling the walls.
I mean,
Thank you.
Well, we know Greyjoy Brotherhood is good, and I
Yeah.
would be shocked if Greyjoy is not running that Brotherhood build.
Prepare to
Chirp,
be shocked.
chirp, chirp, chirp.
I think that Brotherhood deck is one of those like it's your deck and you love it, and you know like the matchups kind of deck. Like
Let everyone
Michael
else
played
know
that deck
it's
really
like-
cleanly,
It's the ugly
but I don't
kids
think
that
it's a
have
deck
to
you
love
can
it 'cause
just
it's yours.
pull off and be like, this is what you should. You, random person number 7, should just take this to Thrones War because it's amazing. I think it's something you have to have the passion behind, and you have to have the reps in and understand your matchups. So
that's actually why I think Crossing will be the most represented agenda, even more so than HRD, because I think it is almost all Crossing decks you can just hand to somebody and they can do reasonably well with it. It doesn't take a lot of prep to like play it correctly. Just play good cards. Don't play bad cards.
I don't know. I don't feel like. I mean, there's some factions that just aren't going to play it, right? I just think that it'll just be absent in some spots.
So like maybe, but even like arguably, there's probably going to be no Barra Crossing. I don't think that's super popular. I don't know that. I mean, there is a Stark Crossing deck. I don't know that people are playing it, but
so 2 to 3 factions
Crossing
that might not even play it. How could that be the top one then, right?
Because every other faction has 4.
yeah, I mean, if Lannister, Greyjoy,
Greyjoy, Night's Watch,
Night's Watch, yeah, all
Barra.
there's a good deck.
I don't know about Barra.
Is there a Barra
We'll
Crossing?
Did you just say Night's Watch running 4 of them?
I've heard rumors. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
Dude,
I mean, that's cool. Like, I wouldn't mind. If I'm gonna be rolled
on it, that's fine with me. But
if I'm gonna be rolled by a Barra deck, getting rolled by some Barra Crossing deck, then I'm like, whoa, this is finally working. The dream is happening. Like, that sounds fine. Like, if I have to be rolled,
that causes you problems, Sandy. It makes me so happy.
The Night's Watch Crossing deck.
Yeah,
is aggressive as hell. I don't know how to. Anyway, but Barra, they have that real lore.
That Night's Watch Crossing deck is good. I know exactly what deck you're talking about.
Event that like just gains like 18 power. It's like Kingsmoot original, like the original version of Kingsmoot. Rituals of Valor.
Oh,
so in the chat, Luis just totally killed himself. Just so you know, I hope you're happy with what you caused. Just like he's hanging somewhere in South America. See what you did?
Sad. I love Louise.
Yeah, Sandy, you killed him, you bastard.
Where did I? What?
By what? Spoiling that there's Barra Crossing?
By discussing this terrible, terrible idea.
But I actually think Banner Dragon is going to be more represented than people think about it. I think that there's a good Barra Dragon deck. I think that there's a good Greyjoy Dragon. There's a good Lannister Dragon. There could be a good Tyrell Dragon.
Yeah.
One of our locals has been messing with Martell Dragon, so
Martell Dragon. Like,
hey,
yeah, the Brotherhood had a Martell Dragon deck that was just basically like Flea Bottom and Plaza and Martell bullshit. Like, sure. So and it was a fine deck. Like,
hey, you know what doesn't like Dragon? Stark. We can't discard cards. We don't draw any. We discard a card and we're like, oh, this is a problem.
I've got a card to spare.
Oh my god.
This is
Stark
a problem.
plays a card and they're like, oh my god. Oh my god. I played a card.
If this gets canceled, I'm done. There's no coming back from this.
Oh my god. If I get reset, what am I gonna do?
Every Stark play is like putting all your chips in. You're just like, oh, I'm all in on this challenge. It's
I'm gonna probably not win if I win this, but I definitely won't lose right now. Oh, I lost right now.
Please don't have Valor. Please don't have Valor. Please don't have Valor. Yes, no Valor. All right, next every plot base.
Either one. Either one. It doesn't matter which.
It's a little bit better for Stark than where Ghoul is.
Very vaguely. Hey, I don't know if you know this, but Greywind plus Rob equals 11. just a thought. It's so sad. It's like heartbreaking every time you get something cool set up and you're like, this ain't gonna last.
It's not gonna work.
I've got another 3 minutes of this.
But you can get out Bran and make him like immune to plot effects. Isn't there something there? You can get 12 out. You can just save 12.
Makes him immune to Blood of the Dragon if you don't have Winterfell out. It's nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
So amazing.
The synergies, man. The synergies.
Is this podcast just make fun of Aaron's horrible Thrones War?
I mean, it's turning into that.
Stark is going to be okay. I think
we bid $1. We got what we paid for. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Stark, I think, is going to be fine. Not only do they have Bratz and Johnny and Bruno and Aaron, but like Stark is fine. Like, and it, if it can run into. Well, there's a lot of much better matchups for Stark than there were, I think, when Chris and I were doing it last year. And the fact that Frozen Solid is not a dead card like it was this time last year is really, really helpful to Stark. So
if only we could ever draw it.
I'm building orders in every deck.
Like Stark, like I feel these are crocodile tears that Aaron is shedding right now. He's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna talk down Stark. Nobody should be worried about those Frosos. Worry about Martell Wolf. Martell Wolf's the problem.
Dude, no, Martell Wolf is a problem.
Martell Wolf's a real problem. Yeah.
No, it's not.
Don't look here. Don't look at the man with the Wolf House card.
I have to bring a Wolf House card. First time since Worlds in first edition.
So what do we think will be the surprise, the dark horse faction then?
So we're saying Martell's not a dark horse faction.
No, Martell's one of the 4 best fucking factions. No, it's
so
not.
Then what are the options here?
What was the 4 lowest bid on?
I would consider Torella a dark horse right now. I would consider Torella a dark horse.
I think
Despite
people have
you guys just spending an hour bitching about Mace.
Yeah,
I think people.
I mean, but we all know he exists, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, I think you have to be prepared for Mace. And I think
Greyjoy is a dark horse. I mean, we all know Asha exists.
Then you're on drugs. Like,
do you guys want to know the 4 cheapest bids for factions at Thrones War?
There we go. Sure.
It was Stark at 1, Barra at $3, Night's Watch at 12, and Lannister at 14. Those are the
Barra went for 300% more than Stark.
That's true. This is true.
If Night's Watch is a dark horse, then I think that's the one I'm putting my money behind.
Yeah, if you can.
That seems easy of those 4.
Yeah.
Who's the Night's Watch king?
Neil,
the real deal.
Yep. Yeah, wow, look at Neil doing something right. He's Tiny's friend and he still has a brain.
Yeah, I mean,
taking a shot at Tiny in a podcast.
He will never hear that. Like that.
Old school.
No, I'm gonna tell him. I'll call him.
Oh, good.
I love Tiny. Get him to come to war. I want to have a drink with him.
Night's Watch is. We're in an interesting place. I feel like after this weekend, my success made people feel like Night's Watch is in a stronger place than it may be, isn't it?
Not
the overall meta based on my testing.
It won 2 other events, and your king got second in another one.
Yeah, it's
not just useless.
We had a good weekend.
We did.
Yeah,
not me, but the team had a good weekend.
You did fine.
Oh, 2-2. I was just a world beater at 2-2.
Oh, sorry, 3 other events because it won the Arizona event.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So,
no, I think Night's Watch is the best positioned house. I think Targ is kind of what keeps Night's Watch in check. And like, hey, guess what? That's one faction.
And it's one match. That's the thing no one faction can really keep another in check. Like, so who's best against everybody? Who's got that plus match?
I think that is Watch and Sun.
Martell.
I agree with you.
I think Martell has way more better overall matchups than Night's Watch does.
So sure, but the Night's Watch positive matchups are more positive than the Martell ones.
Maybe.
Like when there's matches that like you just sit down against builders, and like if you're playing whatever, you're just like, oh, I lost that. That was nice. And like great Kraken builds, right? Like you sit down with Great Kraken against builders, and you're just like, wow, this is going to be 10 minutes of
not getting unopposed challenges.
unless Euron does some weird shit.
I don't know about that. I don't think that match is that one-sided.
No, I also
whatever.
Agree. I mean,
the dragon match sure as hell is though.
The dragon match, I had a rough time, and I was even teching for it. I think, but I think
one of the reasons why you had a hard time, Sandy, was that you were teching for it. Like if you had just put not run confiscation and nothing burns, I was like, dude, you don't put things in to further your game plan instead of play into mine, which is spend all this time trying to control my attachments, which makes my life easy. So
I should have just left my Euron, Asha, and Victorian all get Craven.
We should have opened nothing burns. That was your number. Or was that plot 2? Was that plot 2? It was plot 2, right?
It was plot 2.
in our game. Yeah,
I was waiting for something more. Like there was nothing for me to nothing burns turn 1. I don't think.
Yeah, because I was playing around your nothing burns. So.
Because I knew.
Because I should like whatever.
Whereas because they outplayed you, Sandy. It's because they outplayed
I'm
you.
fine with that. I'm
telling you, when he wins war, he's going to be insufferable. Insufferable.
I'm not gonna be insufferable. I'm not like I don't understand this.
If he wins war, Aaron, I'm blaming you for not bringing a deck that can beat builders. Like seriously, get your shit together.
Look, he's admitting he's going to win war. Does everyone?
I'm not admitting that I'm going to win war. Like I literally have absolutely no faith that I can win war. There's like I sit across from like brats, it's just like I don't know. Sam's going to do Sam things. I don't know. Like
what is Sam going to do? The stupid wolf card only works on defense. You're not going to do an intrigue challenge against him.
Hell no.
He's never going to like war.
I don't know. Like I don't know. He's playing kid plots, and like I'm scared of the Kid Seafeld plot. Like I'm just saying, like
they can play all the wolves. Don't do much against a wall.
The Northern members can be really annoying against.
So I'm assuming everyone has a list of what everyone's playing on their team for Thrones War. On our list, it just says Sam Bratz, whatever he wants. Whatever Sam Bratz bullshit he comes up with, we'll make sure it works for him. Like, we'll just play it. We'll work around it. Like, no one's fucking arguing with him. Go build a deck, Sam. I'm assuming this is going to go well for everyone.
I'm just, we have a list of what people are playing, but I might just steal Tomalucci's deck and play that. Like,
Are there not 4 people just playing Tomalucci's deck? Because that seems obvious.
No, our king is not authoritarian enough to impose that sort of restriction.
You must. You get
I
assigned.
don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Like, we'll Thrones War, there's a lot of variance in Thrones War. That was my experience last year. Like,
Then how come Kevin Shannon keeps winning it?
Yeah. Well, I meant like just like in the matchups, like it's the thing that's nice about Thrones War is that you only have to play certain matchups once, but then like who you get paired against and what that is so random and weird and difficult to predict that that can screw you. So like you can have a like 100% like playing builders. Like I could have a great matchup against Martell, but I could just get paired against the Martell Wolf guy. Like overall, Martell's a faction. I know that matchup, but it's like, oh, there's one Martell deck that is like 90% a good matchup for them, 10% good matchup for me. But the rest are like, 60-40, 55-45, depending on who sees what. But then, nope, I get the one Martell Wolf person who's like in the winner's bracket, right? It's like, oh, I'm fucked. Okay, game like even more so than Swiss pairings. Like it's like very weird in that way. Like it's really nice that
decks that just don't see play in real life that are definitely going to see play. Like Stark and Barra decks at all.
Yeah, right. Like Night's Watch Reigns that we brought to Gen Con. Like the only matchup that like that deck just auto lost to was Barra, and only one of us, Dark Naj, played Barra all day. Right, and that's because Barra was pushed out of the overall meta. But here, you're always going to play Barra at least once. So if you're playing a deck that just auto loses that,
so they're bringing Night's Watch Reigns, guys. It only auto loses to Barra. That's really good for Thrones War.
Mm-hmm. So, well, our version, like the New York version, I don't know what Night's Watch Reigns we have. Do we have a Night's Watch Reigns set? I really don't know. I've been playing.
Yeah,
builders.
there's a couple floating around. So I don't think it's in a great spot right now, but you never know.
It's good against
big guys and some change.
It's still good against Great.
I feel like Sid is sub king Sid.
I'm definitely not. Oh no. Roy can attest to that. I am so happy not to be in charge of kingship duties. It's great. I love not. I love it.
We're a nice republic here. Neil is a constitutional monarch.
Much like Night's Watch, really, right?
Oh yes, the vote. The vote is in. We voted him Lord Commander. So far, no knives in the back, so that's good.
He's more the old bear in the good years than Jon Snow. Bear beyond the wall.
You didn't have to use like goofy little tokens to like place them in the.
We've been.
We'll see. It'll be like round 4 or so when we're just getting crushed as a team. We're all gonna surround him and just be like, "For the wall!" Just beat the crap out of him outside the hall because they're just like, "What happened? Why are we losing?"
Yeah,
it'll be so thematic.
You guys are winning this. You guys are winning war. I'm so convinced Night's Watch is winning.
I would love to. I can't wait. I can't wait to win war. Oh my gosh. That would be awesome.
I feel
also,
like Night's
hey,
Watch.
we had a topic that we didn't touch, and it's been an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Just a reminder.
But here's my thing about Night's Watch. I feel like Night's Watch is one of those factions that when people start getting obsessed with beating Night's Watch, it lets another bunch of other factions that people hate run rampant. And then,
That's
and
the
then,
point. We can't get obsessed with beating you.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree. Like, this is what I tell everyone. It's just like, look, builders, you just know the matchup, right? Okay, that's the advice I'll give people. Know the matchup, practice against it. But don't get obsessed with Night's Watch. Like, it will ruin your decks, right? Like,
You'll
was-
beat us.
no,
and
I
then
mean-
you'll go 2-6 or 2-5, and you'll be like, crap. I really
It's
got
actually-
that builders guy though.
This was the lesson I learned at Winds of Winter, which was that even if I tech completely against Night's Watch, I still can't beat them 100% of the time. I still lose to them, and it makes my deck measurably worse against everything else.
right.
So-
And for a lot of decks, like, I know it's easy to complain about some of the Night's Watch the Wall strategies, but like, they're never combo. Like, it's like the way Red Viper or Brienne or Wonder Woman is, right?
Oh, they're just,
There's
it
always
always takes a long time with nothing you can do.
right.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
no.
much better. Let's just stare at things. I'm going to stare at you for like 8 plots. That sounds much more fun than that one turn of real annoyingness.
Like you said, you can always extend that hand, Aaron. Extend that hand.
Dude, again, I
and
did
we
it
go
right
get it.
Saturday.
I can't wait.
Hey, Chris,
Tell your
I
whole
said-
team. Tell your whole team that when
Whoever-
it's Stark
whoever
Night's
gets
Watch,
watched
if
or
you
gets
guys just
ball first.
unanimously extend those hands, we'll be happy. It'll be
Yeah.
fine.
I don't think we can unanimously because 10-3 is apparently like.
I will.
impossible to get.
I guarantee that, you know how we're joking about, it will be the reverse of what happened to Jon Snow. It will be more Walder Frey with just Johnny stabbing people in the back if they're just, if Aaron just concedes to someone because of the matchup, we will find his head rolling down the street of Chris and Johnny and Ryan's town.
Spike. There'll be at
and
least
then-
one spike outside the event hall.
Hey,
And
we just
Johnny
need
will be
to
retiring
orchestrate-
safely to Mexico to, having murdered Aaron Glazer, but still having won Thrones War, but having murdered Aaron Glazer.
We could orchestrate this trade. I'm telling you, just trade me to Martell. Problem solved.
Commissioner would veto that for sure.
Certainly. So, any other sort of final Thrones War things that people want to say before? Because this is our last sort of opportunity, our last word before we move on to the deck doctor.
Is it our last? Is the live episode before the Swiss or after?
Gotta be after, right?
Right. Well, because I don't get in until Friday night. So
Yeah, same thing.
later.
Okay, so we'll already have a top 32 decided, presumably, when we do our live episode.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
sure.
expecting we would do it at the party after the Swiss.
Cool.
So-
Where's the party after the Swiss? I still don't know how the Swiss
at
works.
the house
by
and
way.
then at Ryan's, right?
Yeah.
Or
No,
at
no,
the-
no. Nothing's at Ryan's house.
Oh,
But
the party's
Ryan's
not,
house
right?
is Friday night. People can be at Ryan's house, but there's not going to be an official party.
Okay.
The party on Saturday is split between the event hall, which I think is probably going to be our better option for podcasting, and a bar down the street, because the bar down the street is probably not a great idea for a bunch of
It'll be
tech
at the
equipment
event.
to be
It'll
at.
be at the event center.
So
Um,
how does Swiss actually work? Because I'm still wildly confused.
It's not Swiss.
So-
think round robin, not Swiss.
Yeah.
Well, it's round.
Every
Wait, but who do
team
you
will
play?
play every other team once.
Yes, but like,
In the first round,
who
the
do I
pairings
play
are
in each
completely.
team?
In the first round, the pairings are completely random.
Okay.
And then the second round, you pair off by record. So all the 1-0s will be randomly paired against the 1-0s from the other team,
Right.
and vice versa. And then
So
you
it just
go
becomes round robins. The teams is round robin, but it's Swiss within
Correct.
Within the matchup.
within the matchups, right?
You'll play somebody as close as possible to you in victory points.
Yes. So
I will say that I think me posting random shit on our Instagram is working really well. And so leading up to Thrones War, I plan on I think I'm driving across country with Jesse Carpenter.
Jeez.
yeah.
So
Bohan and some other people, right?
yeah,
Hey, you don't have
uh,
a job, right? Why not? Just
Yeah.
go for it.
I actually had to reschedule because I had an interview the Monday. They were supposed to do it this Thursday, but I have it Monday. So I can't just stay in Chicago. I have to come back to New York and go back. But it'll be fun. So expect lots of pre-Thrones War updates, lots of trash talking between me and Jesse on our Instagram and Snapchat.
Nice. That'll be fun.
Or something.
We should do an episode of between round discussions where like Sandy should grab a random host between each round and be like, blah blah blah, how'd your last round go? And then talk about it. You know?
That could be fun. They're like a quick
I want like
minute
between
snap.
round team discussions, like mic'd up, you know, like let's get Team Stark mic'd up after round one. Let's get Team
Again, Sid. So if Sid doesn't show up at Thrones War because Johnny Wright murdered him for that idea,
we don't have to
sharing
broadcast
Johnny's
that
secret
live.
tech.
Just like the NFL, you get the mic'd up afterwards, right? You get it afterwards.
It could be like, what did the Eagles coach say? He's like, we're just gonna play the game. We're just gonna play the game. I'm just gonna tell my guys, we're just gonna play the game.
That's what I want. All
we
the
just play the best
speeches.
thrones. It's like if we could just play. I'm just gonna tell my boys and my girls that they just play the best thrones you can.
That's right.
What does that mean?
I love it. That's what I want.
But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm painfully nervous and stressed out about it, but I am very excited. So.
And you're not even a region. What do you think I feel?
I know.
I'm with Chris. It's so nerve-wracking because you want your team to do well. Like, it's not just your wins and losses that matter. Everyone's wins and losses, like, they affect you. It's hard. It's hard being king, guys. It's hard. It's a burden. It's a curse.
Yeah.
I can see it.
So, how much time do we want to spend on this very popular segment among my co-hosts of Deck
30 seconds.
30 seconds?
45.
All right, 45? All right, so we'll do Fred's deck then, since Fred's a fan of the show. It's a Night's Watch Banner Rose deck. What do we think?
I think it's good. It's got Oathkeeper. It's good.
Copy, paste to Iron Throning, just go.
It actually, wait, no, it does not have Oathkeeper. It needs Oathkeeper.
Okay. All right, so I think we should cut good cards like Sworn to the Watch for bad cards like Oathkeeper, right? So
hold on,
we
did
cut.
you say Sworn to the Watch was a good card?
Oh yeah,
Where the fuck is this deck?
Every
I
Night's
can't
Watch
find
deck.
it.
All right, I'll put it in the Skype chat. Just give me a second, Aaron. All right.
Oh wait, I found it.
Put it in Twitch chat too. So
Yeah,
okay.
everyone can look at
Well,
it.
I don't have the Twitch chat open today, so
Are we copying and editing? How are we doing this?
I can copy it and edit it.
There you go. Chris got it up.
God, this deck is fucking bad. I mean,
What is it? Did he mention anything about what it's trying? I guess it's trying to win challenges by a lot with Randall and Jon Snow,
and then stand people in the Gren to extra power.
Gren tricks.
It's very aggressive.
And you're trying to storm to the watch shit so that Randall can just keep standing.
Oh, he can get his Dragon Glass Dagger on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Put his Dragon Glass Dagger on and become a Ranger builder. So very, very strong.
I think don't you want to maybe... Who are his standing characters here? Just Jon Snow, right?
And Randall.
Yeah,
and
but
Randall
Randall can't use Gren. So does he want to add the attachment?
Yeah, wait. You're incorrect, Sid.
Oh, I
When
see.
you put Sworn to the Watch on him. All right.
No, I dig that.
You do it. So
why is this not running the Ranger thing, the guy that doesn't kneel?
Right.
that
Like it needs to be running 3 of those.
Especially since you're going to be creating extra Rangers with Sworn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Them instead of the Shower Tower Masons, maybe?
Yeah, I don't think Shadow Tower Mason really fits here.
You don't really have. I mean, you've got the attachment package.
There's Tricod, but yeah, I guess the other ones you could put in Fred's favorite card, Jeremy Riker, and make them Tricons too.
Yeah, I would put Jeremy Riker in this definitely.
But not a lot of. I don't think you need all 3 Jeremy Riker.
No. But here's what you do: you play Riker, and then you play Power Behind the Throne, so you get 2 challenges out of Gren, and you can use them twice with Randall. So it's like a 7-8 power swing. No.
This is running the wrong Ghost too. Like if you're running
any challenge in which Gren's attacking, but he only has a military unless you add Riker.
Okay.
Interesting. And you want
I'm just only really done on the military challenge.
I like the unopposed Ghost.
I think you want the attachment, no, in this?
They're both good in this deck.
Close, I think. Yeah.
There's not. I mean, who are you putting? I guess yeah, because then you can put him on Randall.
If
Yeah,
you're
that's
scorning Randall, like
repeatable save.
It's really it's a Viper. It's a Voltron Randall, right? With nice watch guards, right?
Yeah, it works just as well with Jon Snow.
Yeah, it does, but not quite as well because Jon doesn't have native renown.
Oh, yeah, and he can't.
Ooh, now it's on screen.
To the watch.
Exciting. Right over.
There's Long Claw to give him renown.
Aaron's face.
All right. So we're definitely cutting Shadow Tower Mason for 3 of the fucker, right?
All right, cutting.
I don't think that's the name of the character, but we'll see.
Yeah, definitely the fucker, the one that doesn't heal. And then we need 3 whatchamacallit, 3 Sir Jeremy Riker.
Oathkeepers. What?
Hey, is this not running the best draw card in the game? Because that's confusing.
The birds.
Yeah.
The birds. Yeah.
Like, why would you ever run
birds.
Littlefinger and not the birds?
Thing is, what is Riker giving that power icon to? It's just.
Also, why does this deck have High Guard and Courtier? Is it the one character that gets the
because
strength boost stands itself?
Lord Burnley's Ride.
And any character with Dragon Class Dagger, right? So as soon as they go in the challenge, they get +2 strength.
Yep.
And then they stand.
So doesn't Randall just usually have the dagger?
Randall and John, but then you don't have to
Corrin.
And Corrin, and you don't have to always burn the John trigger.
So can we look at what we're cutting first?
Multiple times.
It's not a John trigger because it's Jon Snow core. He's always standing.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
He's running he's running the bad John. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh,
Yeah, no, I don't think that's right.
Well, that's why he can do Gren and just like load him up.
So replace bad John.
Gren on.
Guys, replace bad John with good John. Seems like a solid idea.
I don't know.
I don't know. I kind of like bad John.
I kind of like Bad John here. Like I do kind of like Bad John.
I just assumed it was good John. Like I was like, oh, Jon Snow.
It definitely should be Sad John.
I've definitely seen Sid online playing Bad John in this deck. So
I could tell. Oh yeah, I would totally play Bad John in this deck.
Like, why is Satin in here if you're using Core John? Like that's dumb.
For Master Amon,
theoretically,
for double Master Amon trigger.
Oh, and he doesn't even work on Randall because Randall doesn't become a steward. So,
no,
what does he? What does he stand up?
Hey, you know what this deck should run? The guy who fucking makes draw crazy.
Oh,
you're gonna have some stewards if you're running 3 Sword into the Watch, man.
And also, you have. I mean, does this not run?
You can put a single,
or not Winterfell Stewards. Steward at the Wall. No.
Yeah, it should also.
You know what it does though? If you put Sword to the Watch on Marjorie, it makes her a steward, and Satin with Marjorie is a little bonkers. I like that.
There you go. All
there you go. Hey.
So
we found a combo.
There you go. Yeah.
So get rid of Ghost. Do we keep Halder? I think we cut Halder. I know what he's there for, but I think we cut Halder anyway.
I think he's a keep because he can give that strength bump for the courtiers.
Yeah,
I guess.
and you also
All right. Fine. Leave the 1 Halder. Keep 2 Higher and Courtier.
All right,
Can we make that 3 of good Jon
So wait,
Snow?
are we? Let's be clear here. We're cutting Ghost. We said we're cutting.
Are we
Ghost.
okay cutting Ghost?
Wait. Who's actually editing the deck right now?
I am. I've got it right here. So
Okay, cool.
we're editing Ghost. We're cutting Ghost.
Is everyone okay with that? Because Ghost seems not good for this.
Yeah, I agree.
I like Ghost, but he's fine to cut. Like you can't put.
God, I have to clone the shit to look on it. So,
All right, so we're cutting Ghost. So all right, so Grens are staying.
I just sucked it up and cloned this shit so I can follow along because I'm confused.
We're keeping Halder. We're keeping Halder, right?
Yeah, we're keeping Halder. We're
the
cutting.
next is Icon. Are we keeping the couriers?
Two seems right.
Okay.
Courtier is a good card for this.
The next card is Core John's becoming Good John.
Is everyone but Sid okay with that?
I would. Yeah, it's fine because I wish if there's some way to give this guy, this Jon Snow, a power icon. Well, it doesn't really matter though.
The other Jon Snow takes attachments
where,
too, which seems important for this deck.
Well, that's where you put Sworn to the Watch on John, and he becomes a Ranger, and then you're running Jeremy Riker, and he gets a power icon.
Ooh, now you're comboing. Now I like it. But are we really adding Riker? Because like this Jon Snow might be better than the other Jon Snow.
No. It's not.
No.
It's not.
I don't think so.
Like, because you're not always going to have your combo, right? Like,
does a single Dracarys kill Big John? No. So he is immediately better.
Whoa, guys, you're going to have Longclaw on him. He's
also,
gonna be 5 strength.
Also, it's a banner deck, so he doesn't even go into the challenges with Randall until you find your stupid attachment.
True.
So we've got to get rid of Littlefinger because running Littlefinger in this deck seems just remarkably short-sighted to me.
He's gone. So no left and no right? I mean, it seems like auto include, right?
Shut up, brats. Do we want 3 ranging parties? Is 2 not enough?
No, 3's that's a good.
3's really good.
They can take those daggers too, and they're just bonkers at that point. I think they're good.
We don't want Samuel. Can we go 1 Satin?
Yes.
Yeah, I think please. 1. You don't need 2.
Got it.
What's the name of the stupid Bicon guy that doesn't kneel?
Old Forest Hunter.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's
Haunted
Forest Ranger.
Haunted Forest Ranger.
Haunted Forest Ranger. Yeah.
Yeah. So 3 of that, right?
Yeah. Switch out the Tower Mason for
It's
them.
on Haunted Forest Scout.
Then you
by the
can
way.
add
We were all wrong. It's Haunted Forest Scout. Okay.
Yeah, whatever. All right,
Then
and
you
then
add Riker, which
Shadow
makes
Tower.
Gren really flexible because then he can go on military or power. Like a power challenge with Gren and somebody is just it's great. It's a great feeling.
So are we running 2 Sir Jeremy?
How are we getting these icons?
How we what?
How are we getting these icons?
With
Sir
Riker.
Jeremy.
Riker? Just Riker?
Okay. So do we want 1 Sir Jeremy or 2? I think 2.
2.
Jeremy Riker.
All right, can we add the fucking draw card, please?
Oh, the birds.
Yes.
3 birds.
Yeah, what the hell is that? What are they called? I just call them the
Messenger
birds in my head. Thank you.
Messenger
Just-
Raven. Yeah.
Yeah, Raven. Yeah.
All right, so
I typed
think
bird into search, and it didn't come up.
BIRB.
All right, we're going at 64 cards, guys, just to keep your.
Oh, who cares? But
All right.
we'll cut.
Cut.
Ship it. 64 is perfect. Let's do it.
We'll cut. We need more. Do we need more Rangers, or we have
I
capacity?
think we're good. I think we're okay with the character base right now. I think we can go into the attachments.
I'll be right back.
And we're not running the draw, dude.
Chad would like to point out that Sandy's playing a game on Iron Throne right now. I feel like this is just like Tony Stark going, "That man is playing Galaga."
It's too bugged to play today, man. I found like fucking 6 bugs already today. I keep messaging the guy. Does this deck really? Okay, whatever. We're not running Bone Marsh.
I don't think this is room for Marsh.
Where's what? Let me look at Bowen real quick.
I guess there's
We're not
really-
gonna have enough stewards.
I mean, Jon Snow is a steward,
He is.
and it works on offense and defense. Whatever, I don't care. All right, so 3 Dragonglass is fine. 1 Longclaw.
Yes, 1 long
Yeah,
claw.
1 long claw.
The milks like they really are on plan.
I think the milk.
Just cut the stupid milks.
Are
Like
not
Craven
necessary.
and anything, right?
Or maybe you're put the play fortified position and then put the milk on Core John so he can take other attachments.
But then he doesn't get the always in challenges. So just saying.
I'm just trying to get into the deck builder's head here.
I think the Great Hall. I think the economy base is. Pretty
I mean,
good.
are we really
Political
not?
disaster is kind of hilarious.
Guys, are we really not running Oathkeeper? Because Sandy, if Sandy were actually listening, he would be heartbroken if we don't run at least 1 Oathkeeper.
I thought we already took out Sworn to the Watch and put in Oathkeeper. Did we not do that?
This deck needs Sword to the Watch.
So
It has to have
I'm
someone.
adding 1 Oathkeeper, and now we're at 59 cards, by the way.
I'm at
And that's
62.
two Oathkeepers.
Wait,
How many
let's
characters do you have?
drop?
38.
Oh, I've got 35. I'm missing something.
I've got 3
Is it the
Gren,
birds?
1 Halder,
Yeah.
3 Haunted Forest Scouts, 2 Courtiers, 3 Johns, 2 Amons, 2 Marjories, 3 Ravens.
3 Marjorie.
Oh, I got 3 Marjories. Excuse me. 3 Marjories, 3 Ravens, 3 Corins, 3 Randalls, 3 Ranging Parties, 1 Satin, 2 Jeremy Rikers, 3 Shadow Tower Masons, and 3 Stewards of
Yeah,
the Wall.
and we cut the Shadow
Oh,
Tower.
Shadow
So
Tower
much
Mason, get him
dead
out of there.
air.
Yeah, we cut the Shadow Tower Masons.
Shadow Tower Mason. Okay.
Yeah, see why we didn't want to do this? We have to read fucking lists of cards at each other. Alright, whatever. Dragonglass Dagger, Longclaw, Oathkeeper, Sworn to the Watch. That's our attachment package.
Yes.
No catapult at the wall, guys. We're standing a lot.
Oh my god.
No catapult at the wall.
So I'm at 59 cards.
Me too.
Okay, cool. Great Hall, Honeywine, Rose Road, and Underground Vault. Do we want the Gates of the Moon?
Is Honeywine good.
I mean, I
thought it was
definitely.
bad.
You're probably
I-
winning by a million with Jon Snow's
Well,
stealth, right?
we also need Tyrell cards.
I mean,
Well,
That is a problem.
we just added Oathkeeper. We don't need Honeywine for
no,
a
we
Tyrell
have
card.
we have 13. We can cut Honeywine if one. I think
All
we
right.
should keep it though. I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's.
I think one Honeywine is fine,
I
but
think we.
it's running Poly D in the plot deck, so you don't want to go too heavy on.
I think we absolutely 100%, if not more than 100%, because there's numbers that are more than 100%. Like how much more Barrow went for than Stark. We should really be running 3 Gates of the Moon.
Yeah.
It's just better than Rose Road in this deck.
And it's good with your political D if you're going to run 3 copies of it, because you'll probably see 2, and that'll help you.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't get the love for that card at all.
Yeah, it's fine.
Well, add a Night's Watch. I mean, it's just the
if
vaults.
you've got Underground Vault,
automatic.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did think that the trick with Vault was funny. I found out about that this last weekend against Neil.
When it
Amused
beat you. All right, so I'm cutting the Rose Road.
The
for that,
Builders
and
beat me, not fucking Gates of the Moon.
Gates of the Moon
Was
beat you.
beaten because
All
he
right,
had
so then-
autonomy.
So do we want events or characters?
We're at 35 characters. I think we might want some more characters, right? Because the event package is fine. We don't need Hand's Judgments in this deck, right?
No, I was thinking whatchamacallit, either Iron Bank or blah blah blah. I can't think of what it's called. Or Superior Claim.
Yeah, there's no attachment control in the plot deck, so
I like Iron Bank.
So to
All
Iron
right.
Bank.
2 Iron Banks. Got that. Where are you? Eyes. It's the Iron Bank. God, that's a long titled card, Ryan. All right.
All right, we can't run Clash of
Ooh.
Kings, right?
suggestion from chat to add Withering Cold to the plot deck. I kind of like that.
Okay.
Oh,
All right,
give a
so
shit for it.
just to be
Well, Clash-
clear, just to our audio listeners, the current plot deck is a Clash of Kings, Building Orders, Counting Coppers, Here to Serve, Political Disaster, Time of Plenty, and Wildfire Assault.
So our weakest icon is power, so Clash of Kings seems like a bad idea.
I'm just imagining like an 80-year-old guy
Riker.
sitting next to an old-timey radio, like trying to write down this plot. Like, what?
if you see
Political
Riker,
disaster?
then power's not going to be your weakest. But,
Sure,
but
but
it might be
if you
too big
see
of an
Riker.
if.
Yeah, so I would cut that for Withering if we're going to run Withering.
All right.
And then, I don't know, do we need one of those stupid 9 gold shits? Do we need the Sandy plot?
Oh, please no.
This doesn't need counting, right?
It kind of does.
All it has
All
is
decks
numbers.
need. Come on, all decks
Yeah,
need.
counting is like a combo finder. Like
Yeah.
if you
Well,
don't have
I-
your sworn to watch, it's pretty bad.
I argued on the white book that counting is to second edition as Valor is to first.
I think
Yeah, that's pretty
And-
accurate.
Okay, so this doesn't want Wildfire, though.
I don't think it
No.
wants a reset.
Like, it's trying to just go wide and shit out characters. Wildfire seems like a bad idea. Heads on spikes?
I mean, I definitely think Heads is better than Wildfire in this deck.
yeah.
What else would it want? It doesn't have a big gold. It doesn't
Does
have
it really
big-
want Here to Serve?
Does it? Yes. Ammo.
Yeah.
Close call?
You-
How about close call?
Hmm.
So close call instead of Wildfire.
I like that.
Okay. This deck definitely can have bad things happen to its important characters. So,
Yeah.
Where's Wildfire? Wildfire Assault becomes close call. Done.
So I have one more thing to add. Do we want to find room for Craster?
Yeah,
You
this
guys
deck probably gets messed up by Doharis. So yeah, we probably need.
I mean,
Craster.
or a Morgulus. Like, this deck does not want to be reset. So I'd say 2 Craster.
All right. So
And
that
then
means
we
we
have
got to
to-
find 2 spots.
Cut a Nightmares.
Kind of
Yep.
nightmares. Okay.
And the Honeywine.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Shot.
one
At
honey.
a one of, sure. You're not. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I would cut the honey one.
Especially since you're going to end up being like, oh man, I got a political disaster and this is bad.
It's a win.
What's our? How many characters do we have?
We have 37, which I
37.
think is pretty good, and we have a pretty low curve.
So high. That's so high.
But this
If I
deck
see
needs,
over 32, I'm just like, oh,
Get
gotta
away
cut
with a lot
those.
less now.
Play some
I mean,
events.
it's not running Flea Bottom, so really it's just not your kind of deck, Sandy.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, I think it's
getting
actually.
double duty. Yeah.
I think we doctored pretty well here. Actually, I think we kept the Sworn to the Watch BS combo bullshit.
I have reached the maximum number of decks, so I don't have this piece of shit saved. All right, I gotta go delete some decks while we keep going.
All right, Sandy. So this will be shared when it goes live on YouTube. I'm saving it now. The doctor is in.
I'm gonna test it for Thrones War this week. This is great.
Yeah. I mean, I've got my Thrones War deck now. Thank you, Fred. So Alex Black, thank you for having Fred give us this deck. So we've got a Standy Randy Jon Snow deck doctored. Congratulations, Fred, for being the member of the person of our inaugural edition of Deck Doctor, which we will never do again.
Inaugural and only. Yeah.
It was literally like pulling teeth, except once we actually got the content going, 2 of the largest whiners actually participated.
Yeah, but believe it or not, I edit fucking 40 decks a day at this point.
While the third whiner
played on Thorn Techie.
All right. I think we're gonna be a little under 2 hours today, right? Unless people have got more stuff for us.
Do we want to take questions from the chat before we go?
We can take some questions from the chat. We've got some time. So throw questions in the chat.
Chat, you got anything
Trey
for us?
and Alejandro now.
Basically.
Are they the only 2 left?
Everyone cut out during Deck Doctor. That could have happened.
Man, you know what's going to be cool when they release the Mad King in 2nd edition?
Oh man, I can't wait.
I don't think we're gonna get the Mad King 2nd edition.
I think we have to. All champ cards return, and Bruno is a 2nd edition player, motherfucker.
Yeah, but there have definitely been cards that they've been like,
but they'll screw us. It'll be like the Mad King Joffrey, and if you control Joffrey, discard. If you discard him, we'll get some bogus version of him instead of actual Targaryen.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Trey would like to know. Trey on the Martell team would like to know what banner do you fear out of Martell besides Wolf?
Stag.
Watch.
What's
Starg? Watch.
Starg?
Starg.
He can't not think of Martell Wolf because it eats him. Yeah, no, Stag and Watch are the big 2, right?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm about as worried about giving Alex Black Martell insights as I am about like the sun not coming up tomorrow. Like, I think Alex is fine. I'm sure he knows which are the banners to fear. It's like Stag, Wolf, Dragons probably underrated.
Wow. Buzz would like us to know that Martell is locked in already, so this information is not going to go to use apparently. Which
is
all right.
Buzz a Martell player?
Yeah, yes. He is a Martell player. So, just talking out of school, Mr. Aldrin.
That blows my mind that you guys are locked already. I don't know how you did that.
I don't believe it. I think
How do I have mass delete on this shit? It's annoying.
You don't.
Kelly Handrogo has a question.
I got it.
What's the best first round pairing for your team?
For Stark?
For any team, who do you want to play first?
For your team, so
yeah,
that would be Stark for me.
For you.
I think our best first round pairing is whatever team started drinking the morning of.
So you get to play your own.
So Lannister.
I mean, that's really like it could be Lannister, it could be Targ, could be Tyrell, could be us. Although I probably won't. Not big it's got Jesse Carpenter on that team.
Kevin Shannon doesn't drink at all. I probably won't be drinking the day of. So
honestly, I'd like to get Targ out of the way right away. We have a decent matchup, not a good matchup, but a decent matchup with Targ. Let's just get that shit over with.
Yeah,
figure out where we stand with it, move on.
Yeah, I think Targ is up there. Like Targ is one of those factions or Martell. I would really like not my win and in game to be 2 years in a row against Martell.
I'd like to play Martell. That'd be fine.
Particularly because it's random and it's much less likely if I do end up doing it well that I'll bump into the Martell Wolf. So like the more random the pairings against Martell can be is better for Night's Watch. On a pure like just kind of like I know the matchups really well, and I think that Night's Watch has like I think the matchups are like straightforward about whether or not most Night's Watch decks would be Tyrell. Like Tyrell, like Night's Watch has its strategies, and if it executes those strategies, it can beat Tyrell. And if it doesn't able to, it won't. Like there's not a lot. It's very linear, I think, on both sides. And so that's kind of like a good warm-up game is like, but we got to execute your plan. There's no like real like plays that you don't have to come up with a lot of plays in the game. You have to come in with the right strategy with the Tyrell matchup. So that's not a bad way to start the day off. I don't want to start playing Atlantic Crossing. Like fuck that. Like I don't want to open the day with Atlantic Crossing.
just get lumped into a loss and just want to beat yourself up the rest of the day. So,
I don't mind it. Atlantic Crossing against Night's Watch. That's not actually that bad. It's not that bad.
Sure. I like your optimism, Sid.
Hey, I beat it this weekend after I think I was down 12-0 after plot 2, and then just cocked and locked it right into place and took it down. I mean, you just gotta.
That's impressive, man.
You just gotta wait them out, right?
Sometimes you're in the waiting room though the whole game. So.
I want to play Night's Watch first. I think that's like by far my worst matchup. Yeah, like I just want to get that out of the way and then just go like 7-0 after that or 6-0 after that.
Yeah. If you have to play them late, there's like that dread, right? Like, shit, when's the matchup? When's the Night's Watch matchup coming up? I'm not looking forward to it.
Also, like
it's just,
get paired
it's just like whether or not you want to know the day you died. Like somebody who's going to tell you that. It's like,
like assuming I'm not garbage at this game. Like later on, it's very much more likely that I'm going to have to play a builder's deck versus early on, I might get paired against, some deck I can actually beat.
Right. They can only field probably 8 builders decks, so that's a 5-3 chance.
Yeah, I know. Like,
I'm confident we could go all builders if we really wanted to, but we probably won't.
What, builders fealty?
Sure, why not? I mean, you can do it.
Significantly worse than summer, right?
Yeah, like. It's not like suddenly the deck doesn't work just because you're getting a little extra econ from fealty instead of summer. It's not that different.
So like what you
lose the reserve.
House of Dreams, fealty. What would be the 4th agenda that you can make builders work out of?
4th.
Reigns. Which is like, who cares?
You could, like, you literally could, and just because Reigns triggers on defense, right?
Crossing was really funny.
Big time on the intrigue defense if you really have to,
well,
and just who cares if you never trigger it? Yeah,
just don't.
No, but it's there if you ever want to. You're just like, fine,
TOA, right? They can't.
I mean, you can like with Ed, you can sometimes get ridiculously high intrigue.
You can if you want to
defense. So that could be pretty obnoxious,
especially if they're chumping in on the intrigue because they want to try and win the power or something against you. You're just like, oh yeah, okay, boop, 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 boop. Oh, I won by 5.
It definitely changes the matchup.
I mean, could you cross
like logic? You could. I mean,
you
could.
Is Night's Watch locked in? Or are we giving you ideas?
No, we're not locked in at all.
We're not locked.
No.
Night's Watch doesn't agree to anything. They're a democracy instead of a dictatorship.
I mean, ultimately, it's not like I don't think it'll be a huge surprise, but it's like. No, we're not locked. We're free. This is a free state of Night's Watch, right?
Yeah.
Is I don't think anyone but Martel. Well, Martel and Targ are locked.
Targ, yeah.
I mean, Targ is just like, hey guys, Targ is probably playing fealty, reigns, and crossing, and then one other thing, and who cares?
Yeah,
sound right?
Probably.
Yeah.
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 Like what that other thing is, does it matter?
Well,
HRD maybe?
Probably.
Wait,
could be
did we
both.
in our core predictions mention? I mean, this is I can't believe we missed this, but like Reigns is going to be like an agenda to watch, right? Like,
Is it?
I mean,
I think 3 houses can do it, but I don't think it's much more than that.
Yeah.
it's what? Greyjoy, Lannister,
4. Greyjoy, Lannister, Targ, and Watch can do it.
Yeah. Can do it.
And Sam Bratz for 1 in the Stark.
Right. Well, Sam Bratz will play whatever fucking weird thing he comes up with. Maybe it'll be Reigns. Maybe it'll be Reigns, and maybe it won't.
Stark, Tully, Reigns. I like it. The Reigns of Tully. Let's do it.
Reigns of Tully.
Do you guys really not think that there's a Martel Reigns deck?
No, I think there is.
The Martel Reigns deck is like
it's not their best, so I mean, I think
I don't think it
could make it on the team.
It's the quest for the Holy Grail, right? People have been like trying to find a consistent Martel Reigns deck since Reigns dropped, right?
It's like Martel doesn't need the Reigns triggers. Like what? They don't need them. They don't need them.
I mean, Targ didn't need another burn card, but like here we are.
True.
Here we are.
And not being able to run the long plan It can be like in your regular plot deck, can be kind of annoying for some
I
Martell
don't, I
decks.
don't actually like the long plan. I know I'm the only Martell player in the world who doesn't, but I don't actually like the long plan.
I think it's pretty good.
Eh.
Gets better with cards like Someone Always Tells.
Who always tells?
Someone.
Who? I want to know who.
Well, you got to read Winds of Winter when it comes out in 2026, written by Brandon Sanderson.
Hey
you'll
man,
find out
I
yourself.
actually like Brandon Sanderson more than
Well, no, I
Like,
mean,
I
but that's
just
the only
read
way
the
it's
way-
coming out as soon as 2026.
I just read the Way of Kings bullshit, the Final Way of Kings thing, and like it wasn't a good book, but it was definitely better than the last two Thrones books. So there's that.
No, I don't
you
know.
didn't think Oathbringer was good?
I thought it was fine. He's just not a great writer. He's a good writer.
I don't
No,
know,
he's a
man.
good
The
warrior,
last,
but
good
he's
if
not
you're
last,
playing Banner.
the last two Mistborn books of the original trilogy were
I never read those.
increasingly garbage. Like increasingly garbage. Like that third Mistborn book of the original trilogy is just like terrible.
Man,
Terrible.
it's
You
almost like the fourth Thrones book.
No.
Terrible, just terrible.
Well, look, you know what's a really bad idea? When you have a first book and you have like a really compelling female protagonist, and then starting in the second book, you introduce a male protagonist who entirely takes all of the narrative oxygen out of the female character's storyline, is really obnoxious. And as it gets worse as the series goes along, it just gets more and more frustrating. And you're like,
Are we
oh,
talking about?
Hey,
Wait, are we
Sandy,
talking about the
Sandy,
2016
what game are you in?
presidential election? Some bullshit game. I'm losing
let
to
me know
Tommy
what
pretty
game it is
badly.
so I can, because I want to come watch you while these guys talk about books I've never read.
Is Tommy
Nah.
playing?
You're
Is
not
Tommy
missing
playing
out.
his part?
You haven't read any Brandon Sanderson? We should have a book discussion as part of this podcast.
we are having a book discussion as part of this
It's happening
podcast.
right now. But those of us who don't read mediocre fantasy aren't participating right now.
Yeah, well,
It
there's,
is-
there's the English teacher
no.
bias. Like you don't always like get that out of Sid.
No,
Like you don't do this, and then he's gonna start like I don't know quoting Shakespeare at me, and I'm just gonna be like, oh my god.
And,
I can't.
man, Shakespeare's a hack. Bill Shakespeare, please. Way too much
But,
credit given to that guy.
No, here's
Okay.
the thing.
Like
with,
Marlowe was the real genius, all right, of the Elizabethan period. Like if you're not fucking like watching performances of Marlowe plays, you're just a poser, right? Like come on, that's the real English.
I think I just lost this game.
And we lost
Just
the-
like Marlowe lost out to
the
Shakespeare.
audience. Yeah.
All right. So, do we have any more questions from chat before
Nope.
we like spin our wheels too much at the end here?
No,
We're
I
turning
think
into
Buzz
process
is just
slot.
shouting about Harry Potter CCG draft. Yeah, it's bad.
Oh, whatever. Harry Potter's great. Haters gonna hate.
CC.
All right,
Harry Potter the game is great.
He's talking. Yeah, it's the CCG, Roy, not the books.
The books. Oh, yeah. I don't know the game. Fuck. I don't.
Wait,
Whatever.
I want to play this. Is there a Harry Potter CCG?
There
Hey,
was.
hey,
How have I
you
not
know who
heard
the
this?
pro is? Rings. Rings is the pro at Harry Potter CCG. He
Yeah,
still has
really?
his collection, and
I
he
had-
used to bring it to Kubla every year, but he stopped because no one would play with him.
Oh,
So you
I'll
have to
play
message him, Sammy.
Kukla. If Rings brings us to the after party, I will definitely be at the
Oh
after
yeah,
party.
if
Kukla
message
play.
Rings, let him know. Hey, like there's a new crew that wants to play Harry Potter CCG. He'll bring the entire card pool. It's not that much. It's a small
It was a
card
Wizards
pool.
game, right? Right. It was a brief. Like, didn't Garfield design it?
Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, it's a Wizards of the Coast thing.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to bring this to an end. Does anyone have any new announcements that they want to make before? Sandy, you're going to a tournament this weekend, right?
Yeah, Chicago. Something in Chicago. Dan's coming with me.
Struhall?
Yeah,
Awesome. That makes
You
me
were-
happy.
I almost
Said he
went to
wasn't
his
at Wins
place,
last weekend. Why wasn't he at Wins last weekend if he's traveling to Chicago?
It's complicated, but basically scheduling didn't work out
Okay.
for Wins.
That makes-
But yeah, pretty good. We're gonna have some
I'm
fun.
glad
We're gonna show them.
I'm
what
glad
the
he's
East
going to get
Coast
some
can do.
paper games in.
He's like the analyst in our group. He's been doing all the data mining.
That's what Dan does. Like, that's one of his many skills at Thrones. So, Sid, any announcements?
Nope. Got a store championship next weekend with most of SoCal. That's my favorite store championship of the year, but that doesn't matter to most people out there. And then it's Thrones War. It's exciting. It's right around the corner.
It's topical because both us and Sandy and Dan can be eating Portillo's that weekend. It's great.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. It's a connection. Yeah,
It's
Portillo's
a Chicago
is
institution.
the best.
Glazer, no
Huh?
Thrones related stuff, right?
No, I don't have no. Lots of Octagon or whatever Octagon is now. Throne Techie.
Throne Techie.
Mr. Greyjoy, how are anything else from you? Any announcements? Stuff you're
Nope,
doing?
I'm going to the same thing Sid's going to, so looking forward to it.
I'm not doing any Thrones this weekend, but I just want to remind people again that the Storming of Starpike, which at least 3 of the hosts of Second Sons will be at, maybe 4. No, that makes me sad. But
What's the number? What's 3?
myself, Sandy, and Aaron right now.
Oh, Glazer's going. Okay.
Yeah, Glazer's coming down.
What? Thanks for sounding so sad about it.
Yeah,
I'm not
Glazer.
sad. I'm really excited, actually.
No, not
Last
you.
year's
He's
Starpike was
staying
really
with
fun.
me. I don't know.
Yeah, he and Scott are staying with me. It'll be really fun. It's March 10th at Redcap's Corner here in Philly. Last year's was a smashing success. I've got some really fun plans for an after party to sort of continue the momentum that we had from like Winds of Winter, which was an amazing, fun experience, right, Sandy? We
was really fun.
Shocking revelation from chat. Jesse will also be at Starpike, which I know is going to surprise a lot of people.
Yep, Jesse's going to be there. I think the Thompsons may be there. There's going to be a strong Midwest competition. Some of the DC guys are talking about how they're going to come up. So
Wait. Which
DC wants
DC guys are we talking about?
not
your DC.
not
They're
DC.
actually like Baltimore, I guess, or
Well, no, some of them are like
somewhere.
actual DC people, but there are Baltimore area people as well.
Who's in DC?
There's a couple people like that are actually I think in DC.
I may be staying with one of those people, so
Yeah.
Who are you staying with?
Ooh.
you don't know. But I will
So-
email you.
but
I know.
I'm going to
almost
get on
every
Dennis
film player.
about coming up. Dennis was this close to coming last year, but
Really, Dennis? Can you get him off the mountain?
but at the
If
last
Dennis comes, I will definitely come. If you can.
all right.
if
Well,
you can
that might be an
convince Dennis to
argument
come.
to get him. So we're going to have a Boston quote and Connecticut. So it'll be a great tournament. I'm really, really excited for Starpike. The only thing I'm more excited for is War. So it's going to be a great tournament. Please come if you're anywhere on the East Coast or the Midwest. Other than that, I'm basically done. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody in 2 weeks. Our next episode will be Tuesday, February 20th, which spoiler.
Our next episode will be live from Thrones War.
Yes, our next episode will be
not
live.
on the 20th.
Will be live from Thrones War. Excuse me, I forget. We are doing a live episode from Thrones War. Sandy, what's the Instagram handle again?
Second Sons Pod, I think.
Is the
That
hashtag?
might be the hashtag. I don't know. Let me check.
Second Sons Podcast is the
Second Son
Instagram.
Podcast is our
Yeah,
Instagram,
correct.
which is active on weekends when there are Thrones tournaments. You can go and see some of the misadventures, including the single most flattering picture of me ever taken.
We both look terrible in that picture.
No, Sid, you look like you're like posing as like I'm ready to go to the club, and I'm like, where
Same
are
at the 2 a.m. picture.
Where are the cookies?
Roy does look very jolly. He's very puffed out in that picture.
Yeah.
kind of,
I
kind of
actually,
Chris Farley-esque. It's kind of a thing
I
going on there.
actually-
I like it.
If you don't mind indulging me for a second here, I do have a personal announcement. If anybody needs Girl Scout cookies,
There you go.
I'm going to. Did you got some? Nice.
Yep.
I'm going to post a link in chat, and please order from my daughter because she's hilarious and awesome, and the cookies are great. So,
Will the stock still be at Thrones War?
so the thing about Thrones War, Ryan's mom is making homemade cookies during Thrones War. So I will have cookies for sale, but I will not be distributing them until Sunday afternoon.
Okay.
Out of respect for
Got it.
Ryan's mom's delicious
Say,
homemade
like,
cookies.
maybe parking
So,
lot deal.
that's
We
the
pop
story
the
with
trunk. Pop the
If
trunk in the
anyone,
parking lot.
On the off chance that anyone is listening and going to the tournament in Madrid in early March and wants Girl Scout cookies, let me know. I'm already like shipping like tons of stuff across the Atlantic because that's apparently what I do now.
Smuggler.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you should definitely get Girl Scout cookies from Chris's daughter.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
What I'm
He's trying to include the Europeans in this.
Oh,
endeavor.
yes.
Saying he can pick them up and then bring them in.
And Buzz can smuggle them for you too, because Buzz will be there and can bring some back. Oh yes, we were talking about future episodes. So yes, there's going to be a live episode of Second Sons, and there'll be an Instagram presence. We'll all talk about exactly how we want to do it, but it'll be fun. And then our next traditional episode will be February 20th, and that will be our post Thrones War episode, where we'll, I'm sure, mock those of us who did poorly, mock apparently after today those of us that did well. So there'll just be a lot of just general mockery of each other and the meta. We'll try and have the winner on. Do we have Johnny on after last year? I can't remember.
Don't think so. But I like the idea.
Yeah, we'll try and get the winner on depending on who they are and whether they're comfortable doing it. If not, we'll try to have the winning regent. We'll have somebody. We'll have a special guest, somebody. But all of us will be on the cast with that as well, including our technical host Buzz here. So yeah, it'll be great. So you're going to get a lot of Second Sons content over the next couple of weeks. Yeah, so I think that's basically it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for viewing. Thanks for doing all those things. See y'all at Thrones War.
Bye-bye.